Shadow Show.
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 Shadow in it.
Devontae Smith was the last Heisman Trophy winner to have been alive when they had most recently awarded the Heisman Trophy at the Downtown Athletic Club.
Today's not the day for that, Mike. It's just, it's not funny. I came in today and I said hello to him, and the first thing I said is I'm still wearing yesterday's mistake of not knowing that Downtown Athletic Club hadn't hosted the Heisman for a quarter century. And that's how you start that. Mike. Today,
25 years, Dan.
This is not the day to do this to me. It's not. I've got the holiday parties coming up. I'm stressed out about that. We've got too many people in town. Jason, the director, can't get anyone to work with him. And Tony bailed on him at the last minute. Rose wouldn't sing for him. We've got office chaos here, and you're hitting me in a vulnerable spot. That's a bad mistake.
I'm lashing out. It's been 2 weeks since we've talked Miami Hurricanes football.
There was some, not to spoil it, there's some rapping involved. Not rapping like gift wrapping, like RAPP in this year's intro. And Tony felt that his cool card might get taken away if he did it.
He was worried about the internet?
Little peek behind the curtain.
Dog, I fucked a couch 2 weeks ago.
Let's start the show, a year in review. Turning over. Clear out the old and bring in the new. Turning over.
Holidays are back, Jack, drop a new track. Here with an audio almanac. We said bye-bye Billy and that was whack.
When will Stu come
You
back?
know about that Thai food lifts my mood. Zaslow is a wild dude. Nice hat, soul, I got the scoop. Salute Juju Gotti with the alley-oop.
What's the worst part of their life? Hey! Will Forkins got a new wife. Oh! Roy Bellamy loves to talk park. Hey! When Christmas is up, he says, does Greg have a back in my day? No! The traffic just got in his way. Oh! And then he says, you never know. Hey! Confirming you don't get the show. Oh!
Let's start the show, a year in review. Turning over.
We got Pablo vocal modulating. Amin's been weekend observating. Connor McDee's McOverating. Again?
The Panthers took that ass.
So let's give it to Dan because his name's on the show. And hand it to Mike because he happened to know. Now pass me the ball like Stafford to Puka. Feliz Navidad and Happy Chanukah.
Let's start the show, a year in review. Turning over. Clear out the old and bring in the new. Turning over.
So they might bench Tua, but I got to get to the office politics. That was a lovely open. Welcome to Trista and Juju, alley-oop. We love having them around during the holiday season. And I want them to legislate some things going on around here because no one wanted to participate with Jason in the making of that open. No one. Tony bailed on him, made him rewrite the whole thing. Made Jason rewrite the whole thing because Tony bailed at the last minute because it was going to hurt his cool quotient. And then Rose, he wrote it for Rose. And then Rose bailed at the last minute as well. And then they forced Ethan to do it. And I see that Ethan was on the cutting room floor, as far as I can tell. I didn't see Ethan, which I was grateful for. I didn't see Ethan anywhere in that open. Maybe he was as Santa or something. I saw Jason as an elf, embarrassing himself as an elf because no one would participate with him. So, Trista, please legislate this. We've got a judge in our midst, but tell me what it is that I should be doing here where Jason's trying very hard to pollute this place with the holiday spirit and no one wants it.
I think you need to just force them, really, like indentured servitude. I said to Juju, I said, this song goes hard. I mean, I would like an MP3 of this. Are we still doing MP3s?
No one wanted to rap. That's Juju. Tony wants to look cool instead of actually being cool.
Yeah, I think Tony has to really suffer the consequences of this one because if you're not going to be a team player, no matter how embarrassing it is, you got to do it. Now, neither here nor there, this may have been sent to me as well, and they may have asked me to rap on this
Of
as
course
well,
they did.
And I don't do ghostwriters.
But what about Rose? Like Rose loves to sing. Rose has the biggest banger. We've got people competing around here all the time to sing songs.
That wasn't Rose singing?
That was.
Rose did do the
Yeah,
chorus.
she did the hook. Yeah.
No, but
and
she-
for the record, that was Ethan as Santa.
But Ethan was only participating in the video because Tony and Rose didn't want to look however that was going to look on video. They were embarrassed by what Jason was going to make. What Meadowlark was making was too embarrassing for cool Rose and Tony.
I think this thing should have won a Golden Globe.
It was pretty good.
Okay, we're going to start you off for $2. I don't know the Golden Globe.
It's not eligible. Although podcasts are now eligible for Golden Globes.
Or a short. What is it? The shorties? The Webbies? It needs a Webby Award.
I don't know if you guys have heard Rose's original classic, and I will get to the University of Miami.
I don't think I have.
Playing. You haven't heard? Rose got pepper sprayed at Ohio State.
Right.
You know, and it sounded, that sound he's making is Rose. That's the sound she made on the field. She was actually on the
We
field.
can play. We'll play her classic in hour 2. How about that?
Okay, yeah, because we got to monetize it. All right, we'll play it for Zaslow. We'll sit around and play it for Zaslow. I need to know what to do about Jason, though. I like Christmas carols, okay? Are you guys singers? Do you guys sing around the house? Did your family sing growing up? Because the only time I saw my family sing ever in the house was Christmas carols. There was no other song in my house.
I might have sung at Carnegie Hall.
It's a flex.
All right, look at me, Louis.
At 11 or 12.
I've sung at 11.
In a group.
I've sung We Are the Champions at 11 at the top of my lungs.
I sang the national anthem yesterday in the shower because somebody in here has to sing the national anthem soon. So I was singing, what do I have here? And I got nothing.
Juju, you did the national anthem and not lift every voice and sing? That's very off-brand.
I don't tell anybody.
So Juju simply refused to participate as well. Did they not ask you? Because Zaslow would have done it.
Okay, so all those people you mentioned said no, and then they came to me, and I did it.
Yeah.
That was me.
Also, so far, all the people he's mentioned but Tony were involved.
But I did it. I did the rap.
Rose refused.
She's singing all over the track. She's the lead voice.
Tony and Juju, you got it.
Yeah.
Everybody else that you're saying didn't do it is in it.
See, I do music. You feel me? I be rapping, and so that just didn't go with the aesthetics of what I usually put out. You feel me?
I am told that we now have the video. We can't play the audio because it's a song, but here is Lucy and Rose. Rose was pepper sprayed. She made a honking goose sound, and I believe Lucy was laughing nearby.
They pepper sprayed them.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, they pepper sprayed them. They pepper sprayed them.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, the honk was separate audio.
Oh, look, there it is.
You'll have to take my word for it. She honked. It's not AI altered. Mike, have you been dining on Texas A&M podcasts this
Listen
week?
to everyone, including one that is 100% AI. You can tell by how they say Concepcion.
That is the giveaway so far on all AI.
He's going to enter the NFL draft.
Yes. You enjoy that?
I love previewing opponents by listening to what the enemy says.
I
I told
imagine.
you. Department of War, pal. I got to do advanced scouts. I got to see. I'm real worried because they're mentioning that Chris Bell route against us in that Louisville game. I'm like, damn, they know.
Yeah, Chris Bell, a first-round pick who is now injured. He was injured against SMU, and people are degrading Miami's schedule because they lost to Louisville, but that's a first-round pick, and Miami couldn't cover him because no one can. And he got hurt, and Louisville got hurt. But as we dissect who's good and who's not in a football landscape, pro and college, where we're being confused by, like, who's the best actually, I think this first-round game is the only first-round game that features two balanced enough teams that if either of them lost, I'll still say that could have been a champion. That's the only you got bogus James Madison in Oregon over here, and you got Mississippi playing
Oregon.
Thank you, Trista.
And it's Louisville.
I'm a duck.
I didn't want to do that to you because it's been a shaky start, but we let the Louisville thing slide.
Why do you think it was a shaky start? Do you
Downtown
think?
Athletic Club.
Yes.
That's
what
nothing
kind
to
of
do with me.
producer? What do you mean it doesn't have anything to do with you?
Well, we got to call it out.
I
The
came
audience
in.
expects
Accuracy.
I came in saying that I was still wounded 24 hours later. Zaslow's soothing me last night because I'm
I
still
was.
I'm
Pause.
still He's texting me soothing balm. Just, Dan, it wasn't that terrible today.
I felt bad.
You weren't that terrible
No,
today.
he was bad. He was bad. You got to speak truth to power, man.
So you decided that the way to start the show today and produce me when I've got Jason in the other room giving everybody bad ideas they don't want to do. That actually turned into a very good song because Yeti's talented. And we can dance around. We can we can dance around. And if all we got to do is dance around in costumes, we can do that.
Sounds like Portland by the Ice Center.
I'm lashing out. This is, as you said, two teams playing for a CFP spot here. Winner gets the defending national champion. It's the biggest game in Miami in their since they last handed out the Heisman Trophy at the Downtown Athletic Club.
I just can't believe that there's a time in the day where you say, I have a little bit of free time right now, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to listen to a Texas A&M podcast.
Kick 'em.
There was a Cuban on one of them.
Okay, they're going into a cult, okay? This is a difficult place to play. The people that surround both huddles are weirdos, all of them. They're chanting weirdos. It's got a weird communal feeling of they speak a language no one else does. And this is a better team, I think, a more balanced team than any of the ones Manziel was on. And I think this team has enough athletes on it all over. And I know I sound gasbaggy when I tell you Texas Tech is really good, and Texas A&M is also really good. They've got athletes all over the field. I don't know how they get down 30-3 to South Carolina at the half, but I'm assuming it's because Marcel Reed was inaccurate. He can be shaken. They've got nothing but running backs that average 5 yards a carry. Marcel Reed is very good, and he presents a problem they haven't had this season, a good team with a quarterback that can move. Like, he's their second leading rusher. He's really good moving the ball down the field, but he can be inaccurate. He can be picked off. And I don't know if you guys think in today's college football that 10 interceptions is a lot, but it's one a game. And in this kind of game between two teams that are pretty equal, the way Miami lost to Louisville is Louisville had 3 great interceptions.
Louisville.
But it's 4 interceptions that Carson. That's how they'll lose. Miami's got an offensive line that is as good protecting the quarterback, and they were not a good run blocking team up the middle because the coaches were stubborn all season. That's a good offensive line. And Texas A&M, I don't think, has played a lot of those. They lost to the team they did play. Texas had a good offensive line.
Texas A&M
Athletes,
yeah.
not they didn't protect Arch Manning well, but the athletes across the board.
So macro view, these are two teams that I think, based on form, are kind of headed in opposite directions. You can argue Texas A&M is playing their worst football of the year right now, and you can certainly make a sound argument that Miami's playing their best football right now. Dan mentioned the mobile quarterbacks. They haven't hurt Miami. Miami's done a real good job against the mobile quarterbacks on their schedule. They've contained them, and that's exactly what they have to do with Marcel Reed. If he breaks contain, he will hurt you with his feet. You actually want this guy to sit in a pocket. The more he is forced into that pocket and make reads against the zone, the more likely he is to throw an interception. People make a big deal out of Carson Beck's proclivity to turn the ball over. Marcel Reed has had more interceptable passes than Carson Beck has had this season. I think if you're watching the Texas game, the lesson to learn from that is sit back and make them matriculate down the field. Don't let these guys get into man coverage because they have 3 really dangerous receivers that once they get the ball in their hands, if they shake the first defender, they can house call it. So just sit back in zone and be patient with it.
So I saw them in person once this year, Texas A&M. I was at the LSU game, and I thought they were really good. But I think it's also important to point out, man, they kind of got lucky with their SEC schedule.
They did.
Like, you look at, they didn't play any of the teams in the top half of the conference except for Texas, who they lost to, and all 7 of their wins are literally the bottom half of the conference. It's Arkansas, South Carolina, sneaky decent Mississippi State, Florida, LSU, Missouri. Those are all of their SEC wins.
They've played a lot of bad quarterbacks this season. And I will say from a size perspective, even though this is a really aggressive team, they're really good on the blitz, Owens is good, they don't have the same size that the Jimbo teams had. I think this is a line of scrimmage game, strength on strength, patience, and it's not more complicated than get the ball in the hands of Malachi Toney. They have a veteran nickel corner that I don't think can hang with Malachi running with him. So Outside runs and Malachi Tony is the recipe here.
Chris Cody, can you help me with a couple of things? There are two questions I have for you right now. Amin has appeared out of nowhere. He's on the show today. Why is he late again? Why? Like he's
Coming from Vegas, baby.
Okay, that's one thing. I've got one issue over there. The other issue I have is why does Mike Ryan, who is wearing a coach's assistant jumpsuit to represent the University of Miami,
You got a headset?
why does he go into full coach speak when after listening to this Texas A&M pods where he's like, well, we got to matriculate the ball down the field?
You're right. I'm asking for us and the audience.
We got to house call it. We got to show patience. We got to control the line of scrimmage.
This is you making fun of me.
You got me rattled because of how you started the show. You started the show.
Rough start.
You started the show.
No, come on. You're owning me. Let's go. Keep dunking on me.
Why is it that you go into full coach speak when you're talking about this football game?
Why is it that when I give 10 seconds of analysis, the only analysis allowed here on the show in the last 2 weeks, it becomes boring coach speak? That's actually really good nuggets. Most people in our audience don't know that Marcel Reed is more inclined to throw an interception than Carson Beck. I'm trying to provide a path here for victory for our Miami Hurricanes. And yes, I said our Miami Hurricanes. It's the biggest game in 20 years. You better start acting like it.
I think he's saying when you look like a coach, it just sounds like coach speak.
How do you even decide which Texas A&M podcast you're going to listen to?
All of them. That's how I know one of them is 100% AI.
Concepcion, what's his nationality?
Puerto Rican, really good player. Hurt us a lot when he was at NC State as a freshman. They got Craver, Bethel Roman, and Concepcion, who's going to be a first-round pick. They're just dynamite with the ball in their hands.
5 yards a carry from all their running backs. Marcel Reed is their second leading rusher.
They get Le'Veon Moss back, though. That's the expectation, and he's our big power back. Miami struggled when Florida handed the ball to their power back in that one good-looking drive that they had. Moss makes it a lot easier. There's Reuben Owens, who likes to talk his crap, and we have sound of that. Credit to the Miami Hurricanes and Mario Cristobal because they haven't given teams any bulletin board material this year. They've been very respectful of the opponent. This is now the second time that we've heard a Texas A&M Aggie kind of give Miami some motivation.
I wouldn't say as much as a challenge. I know my guys, they're ready for the challenge. You know, it's been like that a couple games. Mizzou game, they said there was a good run defense. We put up over 200 rushing yards, so.
Yeah, well, Mizzou was ranked 17th nationally. They got fat off of bad teams. They never beat a good one. And Miami's 7th nationally against the run.
I'll tell you, I think what's going to play a role, the Canes have not played in an atmosphere like this all season long.
That's fair.
The ACC, SMU is different from Kyle Field.
Right.
All right.
I've been to both.
And there's over 70,000, which, by the way, 70,000 is like tiny for an SEC stadium because obviously
no, it's 110,000. That's yeah. Miami has not played in front of more than 70,000 people this season.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I will say, in terms of having been to both stadiums,
thank you.
Like Kyle Field is
You're welcome.
What you laughing
super intimidating. It's super loud. It's all inspiring. Like there's levels upon levels as far as the eye can see. It's a pretty cool
It's a
atmosphere.
cult. It's a cult. It's 100,000 chanting people in the middle of nowhere amid some tumbleweed.
Right. Now, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you right now because SMU's stadium is at like a 32,000 capacity stadium. But what they were doing in the first half with blasting the music to the point that the offense had to wait till it stopped, that was so illegal that it had to stop in the second half, is quite literally the loudest thing I've ever heard inside of a stadium. And I've been to Kyle Field.
I believe that most of the people listening to this think that this is Homerific analysis on the University of Miami when I keep telling you that's a team with athletes that can win a championship among the top teams in the sport if we're going to play random ball with kids, right? They're kids and they make a lot of mistakes and you don't trust teenagers to be responsible with much of anything. But Miami has a game breaker in Tony who throws the ball as well better than any non-quarterback they've ever had. So they're going to use him in multiple ways. But you've been traveling to these places. Mike's been screaming at the top of his lungs. The SEC is fraudulent, all of it. But this is the cream of the SEC. It's not Alabama and Oklahoma. And when this team is the cream of the SEC, feeding on a conference that is a lot weaker than people understand. A lot weaker. It's in disguise. This is not the SEC you remember. Alabama and Oklahoma are shells of what those programs have been the last 10 years. Texas A&M is the top of the conference, but Miami's got a chance to expose the entire conference if they physically drag this team that was down 27 at South Carolina. And then when it went to Texas and played the team that lost at Florida, a Texas team that is very physical, they got their ass kicked by a bad, not a bad Texas team, but a Texas team that did not deserve to be in the playoffs.
Like, I know what you're saying about Alabama and Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I'm not so high on. I'm not so sure that Alabama and Oklahoma are not just as good as Texas A&M. Like, Oklahoma and Alabama have really good SEC wins on their resume. Texas A&M doesn't.
What did you make of them being down 30-3 at the half against South Carolina?
And it's crazy because the key to the game for South Carolina was, quote, get off to a good start, which is right up there with my favorite keys to the game behind don't get hurt. You want to get off to a good start because it's a football game. South Carolina stinks, and I think that's the takeaway, is how do you let South Carolina get off to that kind of lead?
So when people are listening to this and we're telling them Miami can win the championship, Miami's good enough to win the championship, but also this is the toughest first-round game there is in terms of two teams that you think could actually win the championship. But you guys are making me rethink my position on what I've thought Texas A&M is all year, because when I've watched Texas A&M at the beginning of the year, not toward the end when they were playing less well, I saw an offense, because of what they did to LSU and others, that can run a bunch of athletes off the field. Like, it's the last two games that I've watched of Texas A&M where I'm like, okay, well, wait, did I get it wrong?
But it's a cliche, but playing your best ball at the right time of the season is a real thing. We saw it with Notre Dame last year, how they were building to crescendo. That's another thing that people that I know have gone back and watched the Texas A&M game at Notre Dame. It's a common opponent. Miami had the benefit of playing them at home, where Texas A&M, in impressive fashion, went to South Bend. If you watch that game, mad fluky. Notre Dame dropped 2 picks, and one of the more egregious holding calls that didn't get called led to that game-tying and then ensuing PAT opportunity that helped Texas A&M hand Notre Dame their second loss. Miami probably doesn't get into the college football playoff if they call that holding, by the way, in South Bend.
Oh, look at that. Call that holding back in South Bend.
Yeah, I think that was more impactful on Miami's playoff chances than anything, because it gives Notre Dame 1 loss. You don't have that head-to-head advantage there. And a 2-loss Texas A&M gets in over a 2-loss Miami.
The people who are listening are only hearing homerism here, right? Thinking that Miami could win thinking that Miami can win the championship because we've watched this team all year and we've also seen them lose to SMU. And
you're the one that's applying that homer take. I haven't said that. I'll let you stand on that island. Miami's got the toughest path to a title. They got to go through Texas A&M in Kyle Field. They got to play a Cotton Bowl against Ohio State and potentially a Fiesta Bowl against Georgia. I wish there was a different path here. I'm not exactly sure why Ole Miss was ranked ahead of Texas A&M. I'd feel much better about that game, but I'm excited about this. And I don't think I've been super homerific here, just telling you what it is. We respect the opponent over here.
You're scared of the venue. You're not scared of the team.
Not even that scared of the venue, haven't been there. It's just really impressive. But the people are super nice. It's not like they get drunk off their ass and are vile people to you. I'm staying in College Station again. I happen to find the area really nice. It's like any cult. They're super nice because they want you to join.
Just to backtrack for a moment, because I don't think that people sort of realize the history of this program. And Kevin Sumlin and Johnny Manziel made the previous incarnations of Texas A&M that had fewer expectations, I think, than this one, right? Because when Manziel beats Alabama and Saban, you still weren't expecting them to win the championship. This is the realest chance that Texas A&M has had for a championship since blank, right? This is the best Texas A&M team. I mean, they gave Jimbo Fisher so much money, and he didn't produce a quarterback or a team as good as this one.
Yeah, this team's only loss is the final game of the season.
I don't. It's probably that's a fine, Trista. Welcome aboard. This is.
It was on Do Not Disturb. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Well, it disturbed.
This is probably the second most talented Texas A&M team. I'm pretty sure there was a Texas A&M team with Mike Evans, Johnny Manziel, and Myles Garrett on it. Yeah. But because of the expanded college football playoff,
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, delay of show.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
Wow.
leave, Trist. I'm sorry to do
Wow.
this to you. You're just going to have to go.
She just said, "Where is it? You'll figure it out."
Yeah, just
Wow.
wander around. Walk past Amin.
If you want, you can tag him in.
Yeah, if you want, that's fine. We can use some Amin.
I do think that whoever wins this game is going to be kind of a sexy pick to upset Ohio State. I'm not there.
God, that shit would be so sexy.
I'm not there with beating Ohio State. I don't know if this team has enough.
That's only It's only happening because you just saw Indiana do it, and Indiana's got like this thing that they're doing where no one will believe it is champion until after it is champion, just because it's Indiana.
Like how bad do you want Miami to win this weekend? Not because you obviously want them to win the national championship, but man, you so badly just want them to play Ohio State.
That'd
in
be
the
great.
playoffs.
That'd be great. Yeah, you know me. The Miami Hurricanes are my life. I want to win this game so bad.
You're taking them one at a time, though. Don't get to that one yet. You're taking them one
Look
at
ahead.
a time.
Look ahead.
You want to
Look ahead.
matriculate down the field.
No, I don't give the opposing team bulletin board material.
Welcome. There was a big NBA story last night. The Knicks won something meaningful. I think it's time for us to shift into regional programming. The Knicks haven't felt this good in a while because the East is weak, although I think they'd have problems against Detroit and Orlando and Toronto. But the Knicks haven't felt this good about a team in a long time because they also like the players, because they've fallen in love with Karl Anthony Towns even when they hate him sometimes. And Jalen Brunson is the most beloved Knick of my lifetime.
Yeah, well, not of your lifetime. Hold on.
The most beloved Knick.
How old do you think you are?
No, beyond Patrick Ewing. Who are you putting
Think
above
back
him?
to downtown athletic club days. There were some popular Knicks players on that team.
I mean, the way that I hear the most obnoxious of New York fans talk about Jalen Brunson, they never talked about Carmelo this way. They never talked about Ewing this way. Who are you putting above him in my lifetime?
So Clyde Frazier.
Yeah, Clyde Frazier.
Frazier.
Ewing.
Okay, but I didn't want.
You said your lifetime.
Okay.
You put that.
You're old.
Do you think Jalen? I'm sincerely asking because I was much more of an NBA fan in the '90s. Do you think Brunson is at Ewing level?
I think a lot of people disliked Ewing.
Ewing got a ton of heat.
I know he got a ton of heat, but at the height of his popularity,
Brunson gets no heat. Brunson is just loved.
That's a good point. Brunson gets whatever the number is, whatever the ratings are. Brunson is like a 100% or damn near close.
I like your voice today.
I know, it's nice.
It's
and
bassy.
It's gravelly.
Yeah. That's a red eye from Vegas.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah, but you've been working hard. Thank you.
A couple playoff exits for Brunson, right? And that heat will turn up, no?
But here's the weird part. I think to this point, he still has a little bit of Teflon where a couple of playoff exits, like last year, that was a disappointment. You were supposed to beat the Pacers. How many people said it's because Brunson wasn't good enough?
Nobody
said
but
that.
when you say to this point, like this part's super interesting to me when it comes to popularity and the difficulty of having it in New York. Like, this is super simple basketball stuff. Ewing was a giant. Brunson is small.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they just love the grittiness of that guy represents us. Look, it's 10 points every first quarter, and in the fourth quarter he's going to be efficient. And how does he do it? I don't understand. He's tiny.
And Ewing was the number one pick, where Brunson was like, wow, I can't believe we gave him this much money. Oh, my God, he's incredible.
Takes a discount so that we can keep getting better. Karl Anthony Towns has never been more popular, even though, if he misses his next 6 shots, they'll turn on him quickly because he's big.
Right. So to answer Chris's question, if the Knicks get knocked out early or don't achieve, Towns is first on that list well before they get to Brunson.
And then Bridges before
And
Brunson,
Bridges,
too.
because we gave up 5 first-round picks for you. He has so many layers of insulation. Mike Brown is on that list before he gets there. Brunson is, to your point, Dan, he's pretty damn popular. But when I think about Walt Frazier, winner, right?
When did Walt Frazier stop playing? When did he stop playing?
In the 80s, but the early 80s.
Jalen Brunson winner.
Well, not like Walt Frazier.
I mean, he's
got
a
championship.
trophy.
Hang the banner.
Frazier had 2. How about that?
Okay.
But then the other part of this you have to understand, Frazier was culture beyond the game. So it wasn't just, he's a great player for the Knicks. It's like, this guy's cool, he's dressing cool, he's got the suede Pumas, da-da-da. And then, because Frazier stayed around, as a broadcaster, still showing up dressing flamboyantly, he's become like the mascot who stayed. And for that reason, he is still beloved and still kind of respected, even among people who born decades after he played for the Knicks.
Fair enough. I stand corrected. I don't know what year Clyde Frazier stopped playing, but it was before I started watching basketball. Like, I didn't start watching. Well, oh wow, that's judgy. I get there in my teenage years, and it's unacceptable to you. I'm a casual because I've merely been following it half a century.
They didn't have League Pass back then. I mean, the Miami Heat weren't around.
Is this an indictment of me that I started watching basketball after Clyde Frazier?
Watch the highlights,
From New York, New Jersey.
SportsCenter wasn't around, guys.
Okay, give me all the Clyde Frazier expertise I have in the room, non-Amin division.
Nah, just for men commercials for me.
Boom.
Did he wear goldfish in his shoes, or was that somebody else? Like, I was at a...
That was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
What just happened, bro? We got to find this man. That was literally I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, bro.
No, there wasn't. There was absolutely there's absolutely a basketball player who's done this. Somebody will support me in the audience. You have this wrong. I do not have this wrong. This is not me conflating.
It's oddly confident for you, given the week you've had.
Again with this.
Can we talk about... This happened in today's show, and I know it's off to a rough start, whatever, but you turned into Porky Pig and nobody said anything?
Oh, we said things.
No, you guys just let him just kind of roll with it.
Do you have for me, can you cut that up, Chris, me getting stuck on matriculated? Have you guys cut that up yet?
The only part that was missing, Dan, was you needed to go, signed up. That would have been 100% Porky Pig.
I wasn't that confident. Can you give me a little bit of a palate cleanser by producing Walt Clyde Frazier talking to the Rizzler?
Thanks for joining us this morning.
This is how you do the wrist face. So put one eyebrow down like this, and then you raise one up, and then you suck in like this. Then you do this. And that's how you do the wrist face.
Did that happen just instinctively, or are you something you used to get in the front of the mirror and you used to practice?
Well, I think I practiced it like a little bit at school, but then I went home and then I did it. And then,
yeah?
Yeah.
So you like being a celebrity, or what?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So did you see my book?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah? Oh, thanks. We're coming out with a coloring book, too.
So that's why he spoke to him.
Look how dark that goatee was.
Winning and grinning.
Dan, I have you saying matriculate.
Matriculate the ball down the field. Matriculate the ball down the field.
That is not edited.
That's better than I remembered.
Matriculate the ball down the field.
That's what I'm saying. You guys kind of
turn that
just
into a song.
you guys just moved on, and I was like, what?
Matriculate the ball down the field.
I mean, it's on the level of Kendrick Perkins, Moses Moody.
Matriculate the ball down the field. I kept thinking that Juju was just saying "whoa" every time here. That is Juju just feeling for me inside of the sound. Matriculate the ball down the field. Matriculate the ball down the field. I think your quibble is with Juju. Why didn't Juju come after me and make the room ransack me because of what had happened? Matriculate the ball down the field. The Knicks haven't felt this good in a while in terms of how it is that this fan base is rallying around the journey and 2 years, and are they going to get better, and am I going to get more attached to the players?
Yeah, I mean, this validation, right? That's what they've been seeking for so long, is that what they're doing is working and meaningful. And even when you talk about Carmelo Anthony, that team, the peak of that was a second-round knockout to the Heat. But even though they were like the best in the division that year and all that, it never felt real. Like, it was like, yeah, we're good, we're 50 wins, but it's just like, this isn't going to be a team that can win a championship. And what's happened in the last 3 years, pretty much, since Jalen Brunson's gotten there is a real belief that this is something that's building towards actual tangible success, banners and awards and all that stuff. And so last night was kind of, especially, they were down. The crowd was it was a San Antonio crowd.
It was a good scene.
It was a San Antonio crowd. And this is, I don't know if it's because the rodeo was in town before and these people just stayed, or there was this like the announcement that, hey, the Spurs are good and this is going to be a huge following that's going to be a national brand over the next couple of years. But the shock of the life for everyone, we thought when we got to Vegas on Friday and Saturday that it's going to be a bunch of Knicks fans. Come on, who can fly in last minute? Who has a fan base at every city? They've got people. It's the Knicks. It's going to be Knicks crowds. And the first game, it was like Knicks Magic. It was like, it's a slightly advantaged Knicks crowd, but it wasn't really as loud as we thought. And then last night, it was like, no, this is a San Antonio crowd. And I'll tell you what, like, for the Knicks to win that, it felt like they won a road game. It felt like they won, quote unquote, against all odds. Everyone wanted Wemby to be the MVP, Wemby to be incredible, and they went out and did it. And now, is this going to mean anything 4 months from now, 5 months from now? Probably not, but
Well,
it's a start.
What it could mean is that they're going to face Detroit again, and Detroit has learned all the hard things and are a better team, and so they won't lose the way they lost to them last year because Detroit is better this year. What was the scene around New York?
Oh, it must have been crazy.
Yeah, they had to overreact.
As Amin mentioned, I assumed it's because all the Knicks fans were back in New York ready to celebrate. This is a team that's captured the hearts and minds
take a look.
of New York City. This is where they always celebrate their first-round victories over here. Madison Square Garden, after its team wins the first trophy its franchise has had since 1973. Look at them. All three of them outside of Madison Square Garden celebrating the New York Knicks.
Is that Dante DiVincenzo?
Everybody makes fun of the Knicks for being loud and proud. They've gotten carried away the last few seasons, winning a playoff game, confetti from the sky. This has not been a relevant franchise in 25 years until most recently. Like, they've been a punchline, first-round exits every time. The East is weak. This Knicks team does have the fan base wanting desperately to have these games matter again. I don't think they're good enough, though. They're the same team they were last year.
Yeah, I think last night, though, the biggest takeaway is now you can't deny that the in-season tournament matters. L.A. has won, hung the banner. New York is going to win and hang that banner. In 20 years from now, the in-season tournament is going to be a part of just the culture, and I'm happy for that as a basketball fan.
Juju, it's not going to be 20 years. I'm telling you, the way the players were playing this year, the way the crowd was in a neutral site.
The way New York fans reacted outside MSG.
It's like it felt like, okay, this is the turning point where the quality of basketball is so much better and the fan engagement was so much better. The ratings are up. I talked to Stan Van Gundy last night.
How great was he and Dwayne Wade?
That's a good broadcast.
Together, the two of them together they just so clearly like each other.
So that's a part of it. A part of the story of why this has been such a success is because Amazon owns the rights to all of this. And they said, we're going to treat it like it's our, bowl season or whatever. They've gone 10 toes down in terms of committing to this thing. And the energy towards the broadcast, both studio and game broadcast, has been incredible.
How much do you think that had to do with the teams that were in it, though? Because we have the defending champs, we have Wemby. Is he coming back? You got the Knicks, big market team. You got a new coach. Like, if there were worse teams in here, I don't think people would be as excited.
I would say, this is what I would say, Trista. The Cup games before we got to Vegas were great, right? The Cup games before we got to Vegas were, think about Heat Magic, the two teams where I wouldn't say anyone is like on the top of anyone's radar in terms of popularity, but that game was a great game, and that game rated really well. Obviously, the Thunder destroying Phoenix wasn't, but the point is, these teams, Spurs-Lakers, another great game. People are engaged, and when I say people, I'm saying the players, the coaches, the broadcasters, and the fans. We all bought in, and it's like all it takes is do this again and again. Joe Varden wrote an incredible piece about the future, the future of NBA Cup. And as he's trying to talk about, like, hey, this is something that we just have to stick with, he brings up the concept of Christmas. Dan, do you know that the concept of Christmas in this country as like, oh, Santa Claus and presents and trees and all that, it's like 200 years old? Like, it happened in the 1800s. To us now, it's like, Christmas is an institution. How dare you say happy holidays? You should say Merry Christmas. Like, that's like 200 years old. People did not care about Christmas like that in the 1700s.
Fascinating. I did not know that.
The NBA Cup is Christmas.
I don't understand, though.
We'll get there.
WFAT.
is
All right.
done by the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. We've stolen the exclamation point officially from Get Up. It's put after the word show.
So this is Act 1, Scene 2 of Macbeth. The stage instructions are: a camp near Fours. Alarm within. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding sergeant.
I don't even know what that means.
Jessica, you have played the role.
All right, so wait, can we set the scene? Thank you, Mike. Can we set the scene, Mike, from high school? Can you give Chris Cody his motivation on, because he didn't even understand what Whittingham.
Am I happy?
Like what?
Am I like,
Sergeant is
distressed?
bleeding.
What,
Okay.
in what
You're
condition does the distressed? Okay, very good. Good confidence there. Let's have the music that we need, Shakespearean music, and let's see if we can find our note here.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil, as thou didst leave it.
So true.
Doubtful it stood as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that. The multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles. Of kerns and Gallowest glasses is supplied, and fortune of his damned quarrel smiling. Showed like a rebel's whore. Showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked a with bloody execution.
What?
Yes.
Like Valuor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave.
I feel your distress.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Grateful that Nick Wright is making time for us today. I imagine he's in a bit of a state of despondence. So how many body parts would you give up of any kind, injured to yourself, if I could make Patrick Mahomes not have a torn knee ligament? Which body parts would you give up in exchange for having him not be hurt right now?
Listen, far be it for me to question the editorial judgment of this show, this same show. I think that at least the Miami studio multiple times tried to derail podcast and radio gold to give us, I don't know, baseball updates. But we're not leading with the NBA Cup, Dano? I mean, hold on, put me on camera. I even dressed for the occasion. I'm like Rob Lowe, just with the generic NFL hat, except it's the NBA. Wimby, Jalen Brunson, you want to talk football? I guess people still care about it. All of my knee ligaments, Dan. All of them. What do I need knee ligaments for? I mean, like, if that were like a serious thing, where it's like, okay, listen, he can, guaranteed to be full health, which he will be, and back better than ever, which he will be, but also just so he doesn't have to go through, he deserves an offseason. It's been a long 7 years. Yeah, I'd give him I don't need my knee ligaments. I mean, I like riding bikes, but I'd give that up. It's no problem. I mean, what did you think I would say?
I didn't know, actually. I managed to be wrong twice about your team. I said they were dead offensively 10 games in. I changed my mind after 2 games.
right,
and then,
you did.
I got it wrong 2 times with your team. But what I hadn't realized, Nick, and I don't know if you felt the size of this as well, I didn't consider it possibly over until, like all of it over until his knee went out, because it affects next season, and I don't know how much your coaches want to be around and your salary cap problems and everything else. I thought it was more doomsday than – I hadn't considered doomsday scenario.
Well, you still shouldn't consider doomsday scenario. They have the most talented quarterback in the history of the league who, if he never plays another down, is the second greatest quarterback of all time in the prime of he just turned 30. And, listen, this sucks. This is a huge bummer. This was the one part of following the Brady trajectory that I wanted him to skip, the blown out knee in his 8th year as a starter, but right after playing for Ring 4 and being the greatest team ever in your 7th year as a starter, but he checked this box as well. The doomsday stuff is foolishness. Like, it can't, and here's why it's foolishness. It cannot simply be either the Chiefs this year were going to supplant the 11-18 Patriots as the greatest, most successful 8-year run in NFL history, or if they don't, it's doomsday. Now, I understand the Patrick's knee injury is, more than a fly in the ointment, but it's 2025. Like, guys come back from ACLs as good as ever, particularly guys that aren't, I am, if I'm being totally honest, I am sicker for Packer fans this week than I am for Chiefs fans. Because Chiefs fans, while I was late to admit it, it was pretty evident during the game. Juju doesn't believe me? Oh, he's a Packer fan. I don't know if he doesn't believe me or he's a Packer fan.
I'm a Bills fan. I got a lot of words for you. Keep going.
Oh, okay, so we can discuss, Juju. The Packers were an excellent team that might have had a real shot at the Super Bowl derailed. Like, that is a special type of torture. While I didn't want to admit it, it was pretty clear by halftime of the Chargers game, if not weeks prior, that this Chiefs team didn't have it. So the 2025 Chiefs, with or without the injury, weren't going to play in or win a Super Bowl. The Packers could have, and their two best players on their team, Kraft and Micah, both went down with injury. That is a potential championship taken. And this idea that next year is in question, I will believe that when I see it. I would, and Dan, I don't know if you know this about me, but I am a gambler. I would bet a lot of money that Patrick Mahomes is the Kansas City Chiefs Week 1 starter next year. What's Juju mad at me about? You guys should go to the Super Bowl now. Like, it's never been laid out more perfectly. You guys should. Mahomes isn't there. Burrow's not there. Lamar, who is actually the one guy in the playoffs you guys can beat, he might not be there. You go to the Super Bowl, and I'm hoping you do it. Like, Bills fans deserve it. Bills fans are great fans. Josh Allen's a great player. You just no pressure. But if you don't make the Super Bowl this year, you probably never will. So I'd go ahead and make it this year.
Yeah, that's my problem. Yes, Patrick Mahomes isn't there. Lamar Jackson isn't there. You know who else isn't there? The Bills' defensive line, the Bills' receiving core. You just can't just because Patrick Mahomes isn't there doesn't mean Julian can win a championship this year. You have to have a good team, and that's what the Houston Texans
You don't have a good team?
No, we have Superman.
James Cook's going to rush for 1,700 yards.
Touche.
You right? James Cook's pretty good. Your offensive line's pretty good. Josh Allen is spectacular, and you have a top 3 pass defense in football. Nobody gets to have a perfect team, guys. I'm so sick of hearing this from fans who tell me all year long what a superhero their quarterback is, and then when we approach when it's do or die, it's like I got to hear from Justin Herbert fans about how bad the offensive line is. I guess Juju's upset that you guys have a bad run defense. Get over it, bro. You have a great pass defense. You have a superhero at quarterback. You have a great running back. You're playing kids and old men. You're going to play young 22-year-olds and 44-year-olds en route to a Super Bowl. Go to the Super Bowl, bro. It's not that hard. Chiefs have been to 5 of the last 6.
Gary Oldman. It is hard whenever you have random people playing wide receiver for you. We don't attack the free agent market. All Josh Allen needs is one go-to receiver. Instead, he has to find where Dawson Knox is in the year 2025.
I have listened to Bills fans, and again, I think you're going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I've listened to Bills fans to run this hypothetical of, if you drop Patrick in Buffalo and Josh in Kansas City, what's the ring count? All right, and my answer is, Patrick still has all the rings. But Bills fans disagree with me. So you mean like they are asking Josh Allen to go to a Super Bowl with like Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdez-Scantling as his lead receivers, except he also has James Cook instead of Isaiah Pacheco, sounds pretty awesome. Go do it. Like, they believe in your team, believe in your guy. Give me a break with this woe is me, we don't have a Madden create a team. Yeah, everything's been laid out perfectly. You're peaking at the right time. You just walk down the Patriots. I believe in you. This isn't like some reverse jinx. I believe Josh Allen one day is going to win a Super Bowl. Part of me kind of likes the fact that if this is the year, I'm like, yeah, he won the Super Bowl, but Patrick wasn't in the tournament, so it's kind of like half a ring. But this is a great year to do it. Go to the Super Bowl, bro. If Bo Nix or Drake May get there before Josh, and it's because, oh man, they had better D tackle play, then go jump in the ocean, bro. Like, go to the Super Bowl.
I'm sorry. I got to point out a couple of things that you said. Number one, you said it was apparent by the Chargers game, if not a few weeks earlier. Didn't sound like it was apparent to you when you come on the show. You were talking pie in the sky. We got this. We're going to do this. The other thing you said is, I'm sick of these fans complaining. They say, oh, my quarterback's a superhero, but when they lose, oh, they start complaining about the line and all this stuff. That's what you just did. You just did that about your own team.
Okay, so Amin, and I'm not trying to start more like beef with people on the show, but I would strongly recommend in the future, if you're going to run back words that I said, you actually listen to the words that I said. Because to deal with the first thing, what I said was, it was apparent to everyone but me. So I was front running that obvious criticism that I was going to receive, because I was the last one. I even think I said I was the last one holding out hope. It became apparent to me, I said, by halftime at the Chargers game. And you don't know what I was saying during the Chargers game, because I was watching that alone, sad in my house. That's first of all. Second of all, what damn excuse did I make at any point in any of this for Patrick Mahomes? And first of all, no excuses are necessary. Prior to this year, he'd played in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. But when have I at any point said that, yeah, there is nothing that could be done? I haven't said any of that. I said the Chiefs didn't have it. He's on the Chiefs. Everybody needed to be better this year, including the quarterback. So we can do the argument jujitsu if you want, but you got to tell me what I'm arguing with.
I kind of feel like you're making the same argument that Juju just made about, hey, even though my quarterback is amazing, there are structural issues with my team that makes it kind of perhaps an obstacle for them to achieve the ultimate prize.
Sweet Christ, man. Are you comparing the worst, the 2025 Chiefs, which were from quarterback play on down, the worst Chiefs team of the decade, to a Bills team coming off its best win of the year? Josh Allen, some people believe, is the league MVP. They're I think, the highest scoring team in the conference. They have the best pass defense they've had in the last 3 years. Like, these are apples and bowling balls, bro.
I'm not comparing the teams. I'm comparing Sergeant Semantics. The argument that you are making is strikingly similar to the argument you're striking down from other people, regardless of the caliber of team that we're talking about.
What is the argument you think I'm making, bro? What are you saying?
You got it. It's okay.
All right, this is happening again. This just general tension with Pablo, with Amin, with Juju. He's coming after everybody.
I have no tension with Juju at all.
Tristan?
I have no tension with Juju. I'm telling Juju, believe in your team.
Hi.
Believe in.
Hi. I'm Trista. I'm new. I just was wondering why you're so hyped up right now.
It's the job, man. What are you talking about? Nobody wants to hear a sad, slow.
I kind of do.
I think
my
most
people
do want to hear sad clown Nick Wright.
Yeah, I want wet blanket.
Bullshit.
Nick Wright.
Pardon me. Like that. I'm not gonna do it. Like, here's the thing, and this is what I think I owe the audience. It is not. Packer fans are in just as much pain. The guys get hurt in pro football. It happens. And for me, if I were to have come out on Monday or today or whenever and been like, the sky is falling when Pats fans lost Brady for a year in week 1. Colts fans didn't know there was anything wrong with Peyton Manning. And it's like his neck's hurt, and then they got rid of his ass. The Packers 15 years ago or 10 years ago had a Super Bowl caliber team, and Aaron Rodgers gets his collarbone snapped. Like, this happens in pro football. And it's not just sadder when it happens to your guy, and it's not just sadder when it happens to the face of the league. It might be more damaging for the league marketing-wise, but that's part of pro football. And part of what has made the previous 7 years so special is they've danced through the raindrops on this stuff. So I'm not going to ask for a bunch of, like, woe is me sympathy stuff. It's pro football, man. Guys get hurt. And you try to duck it, when you have a Super Bowl championship team. The only saving grace to this whole thing is, to Amin's point, if he didn't hear me say it earlier, I'll make it clear, I was wrong about this Chiefs team. They weren't Super Bowl caliber, and if there was ever a year you were going to lose your quarterback a month before the playoffs, I guess it's good that it's the one year the team stunk.
I understand that you have to sort of be strident and defiant by calling foolishness me bringing up the doomsday scenario. But the only reason I'm doing this to Patrick Mahomes is because I think you know this. The last 7 years must have been really physically hard on him. And so I'm assuming if Kevin Durant's body breaks and they break up after 4 years, twice as long is really going to hurt a lot more in that sport, emotionally and otherwise.
That's what I'm most curious about, because I've kind of wondered aloud for the last several years, how is Patrick Mahomes' game going to age? He leans on his athleticism a little bit more than some of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. Every year in the blogosphere, we see some kind of photo of him and his belly in the offseason. Him now coming off of a knee injury in which I believe he tore 2 ligaments. How do you see this guy playing into his 30s? He's going to have to change his game. We trust him to play from the pocket, but it is going to be different, Nick.
Yeah, so listen, this is where I can't prove it to you, and I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But I believe a insane competitor who also happens to be the most freakishly gifted quarterback in the history of the sport, who also happens to be, by any available metric, the most clutch player on a per-game basis. Obviously, Brady has had a 3x longer career in the history of the sport, is going to come back and be just as good. Maybe I'll be wrong. Like, I can't prove that to you. The surgery happened 36 hours ago. But this is where I guess I can be annoying to your crew or whomever. I think stuff like this is the dumbest shit imaginable. You showing a picture of a guy when I think he was in the midst of another Super Bowl championship run. And I think that was a photo from the locker room after the first game he went on the road and slayed one of these teams that was better than him.
For the audio audience, it's a photo of Mahomes shirtless in the locker room.
And it's supposed to be like, oh, look at this. Evidently, what folks think is the ideal quarterback body, they've been wrong about. And so But
Nick, that's him. That's also a photo of him in his 20s, and I'm with you. I don't doubt him either. He's got a special arm talent. He's at his apex, perhaps the greatest I've ever seen. But I do think it's fair to question his motivation when it comes to keeping his body in shape. It's not Brady-esque. That's how Brady got to the 3 times longer career. So given that, on top of that,
Brady was kind of soft though in the beginning.
But then he got into the best shape of his life and pliability.
We can't do it that way
after the injury.
Right,
I mean,
so is Patrick Mahomes built that way is what I'm guessing, because I think part of my concern about how is this guy going to age is he's never been fully dedicated to, taking care of his body in the same way.
Hold on, that last thing I fundamentally disagree with you on. The idea that he's never been fully dedicated. The guy has played an extra season of every other player in the league, and we saw him come back, miss no time with a high ankle sprain en route to winning the Super Bowl. He was playing through a knee injury this last month on the injury report, and it finally gave out on him. The fact that that's why I think that picture is dumb, because it implies the guy is not putting the work in on his body, when I think I don't think that's the message it sends. I think that it is what leads to, like, the show Lamar shirtless compared to Patrick. Lamar's dealt with injuries throughout the whole tenure of it. Like, I don't think those things go with each other. Like the chiseled upper body, and therefore that is, I'm putting in the right work to stay on the football field as a quarterback. And this was not an injury that he suffered because he was out of shape or something like that. This just happens. It's football. But if you're asking me to be a seer and guarantee he's going to come back as good as before, I obviously can't do that. Is my money on him? Literally and figuratively, of course it is.
My money is on him too, but I'm saying they just missed the playoffs and he tore his knee at 30. I think it's totally fair to question how is that going to age when at 30 it seems to have hit a wall.
And I just think that you cannot doubt Mahomes and doubt what football and ravages of the body are done over 7 years of trying as hard as he has. Even if he's built like Derrick Henry, like you're allowed.
He turned 30 3 months ago. Quarterbacks play at a super high level,
and he missed the playoffs.
Into
That's
their
how it works.
late 30s. Say it again. What'd you say?
But I understand. It's not myopic though. Like, yeah, he turned 33 months ago, and they just missed the playoffs after playing in damn near every Super Bowl the last decade. I think it's fair.
Yeah, and I guess I guess you're asking me to prove something that is unprovable. The point that I would make, and I'm not trying to be combative and I'm not trying to be annoying, but maybe I don't know any other way, is there was, unless they were going to have an endless run, at some point they were going to have a down year. And whenever that happened, it would also, as a tautology, be when Mahomes and Andy are the oldest. So at any point, whenever they have the down year, it could be like, well, all of it caught up to them, and they're older, and Andy's lost his fastball a bit, and Patrick's, all of it. Now, there is a real factor of a real, sports tragedy of he suffered a devastating injury, which I am not overlooking. What I am saying is, we consistently see guys at skill positions come back. So the Stephon Diggs come back from a torn ACL as a much older wide receiver. So I don't think that this is going to have some super long-term knock-on effect. I am worried that if he continues the Brady trajectory, his first year back from the torn ACL, they won 10 games. It was one of his worst statistical seasons. They got clocked in round one of the playoffs, 33-14 by Baltimore, and he wasn't back to being Brady till the next year when he was the best quarterback in the league in 2010, and they were 14-2. But even that year, they ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs to Mark Sanchez. And so Brady went 3 years wrapped around the ACL without winning a playoff game. If that happens to Patrick, it will just be conventional wisdom. He's done, they're done. Tom, of course, then went to 8 straight conference championship games and 5 of the next 8 Super Bowls. So I guess we'll see. But you keep wanting me to say, I'm worried. I'm not worried. And maybe I'll be an idiot, but I'm not worried.
He's got to go because he's respectful of his colleagues and he's got a meeting to get to. He's the host of FS1's First Things First. He's also got the podcast, What's Right with Nick Wright, that he does with his son. You came on here and you said at the beginning, I don't want to do editorial judgment for this show, but let's do some on the way out. Would you like to hear me trying to say the word matriculate earlier in the show, or would you like to hear the sound of Pablo making a joke to Adam Freeland that made you roar with laughter?
I'd like to hear matriculate, please. I'd like to hear that. I don't, let me hear it again.
Matriculate the ball down the field.
You know what, Dan? I think that was a good effort. And
no
also,
edit there.
Whether you did that intentionally or not, I mean, to start with the Chiefs and then to end with a phrase that was created by the first legendary Chiefs coach, Hank Strom. I mean, that's why you're the GOAT, bro. I mean, really, you really wrapped it all together. I didn't. By the way, Amin, I wasn't trying to yell at you, bro. So this is sincere. I wasn't trying to yell at you.
I was.
You were trying to yell at me. That's fine. I know that's fine. I don't need any more. I don't need any more beefs. You know what? I feel that
this wasn't a new one though. We've had this one going for a couple of years now.
Oh yeah, because you're mad because
you stole my idea.
You came up with the idea of like, hey, let's call NBA players superstars. I do have to go. Good to see you guys.
See you later. See ya. I've got a couple of questions that I want to get to with the group because Chris Cody said in the middle of that we're stuck in the mud. We're stuck in the mud talking about Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think there will be a bigger injury in that sport because that's the guy who's inherited from all the previous quarterbacks is Aaron Rodgers hangs around and Tom Brady is in the booth. Like, that's the centerpiece, biggest star in the league. I know Travis Kelce as well, but, like, him getting hurt and us wondering aloud, is that it? And him saying, no, it's fine. It'll be another decade. That's a pretty big gulf.
He did cite blind faith. He's the best I've ever seen, so I trust him to do it. When we're just holding up the very recent post-30 data point of, well, they're not in the playoffs and he just got hurt in a way that he's never been hurt.
That's the problem with Nick's counter-arguments because Mike isn't saying he's fat now and Mike's just saying, hey, this is a legitimate concern, and Nick's like, no, it's not. And that was his whole thing.
I'm like, well, if it isn't, then what just happened? Because they missed the playoffs. He's 30.
But the gulf here, to me, that's sort of most interesting I saw Brady do it. He played forever. I think it sort of ignores that Patrick Mahomes on 3rd and 6 is always running for 7 yards. Like, he's been doing it for 10 years. He runs for 7 yards on 3rd and 6 and extends the drive. Brady didn't have to do that. Like, they didn't ask Brady the last 15 years. When the margin in that sport is the guy who's the running back, a bunch of people are blocking each other, and the guy who's the running back hits the corner because he's this much faster than the corners. When Lamar Jackson can be derailed from MVP to, wait a minute, what's happening here when he's got to play differently? How did that happen that fast? I think it's fair to wonder, can football grind up Patrick Mahomes like it does other human beings?
I think everybody agrees, though, he has the mental fortitude and the arm talent to change his game up. But in invoking Lamar Jackson, we were like, he relies on his athleticism so heavily that if he loses just a quarter of a step, that is going to make him a lesser quarterback. And I think it's a big unknown as to how much this is going to affect Patrick Mahomes going forward, given that he was rushing this year more than ever.
The thing that is amazing to me about how that sport churns up the people who play it most athletically, as you watch Aaron Rodgers sort of stumble around, you see all the age on him. There haven't been a lot of quarterbacks in the history of the league that are real good running for 7 yards on 3rd and 6 every time. Like he's playing right in the middle between the most athletic of the scramblers and the most precise of the drop back guys. And I would assume there's a physical cost to that.
It was almost as if Nick, even though he conceded that he knew the Chiefs weren't good enough, which is, I believe, the first time he admitted that. The first time he admitted it was after they were eliminated from playoff contention. It feels like history is already going to forget that they weren't good enough to make the playoffs on their own. It's already become kind of like how the Raptors, I feel, were going to beat the Warriors either way. Warriors fans can always hold on to the injuries that happened there. This little blip, in Nick's mind, and it's going to be a blip, was, Mahomes got hurt that season. Let's take away from Josh Allen. That ain't right either. He was healthy. He had to make that field goal to continue making the playoffs, and even then, they weren't going to make it. And it's awfully super lucky for Nick and convenient to turn it around and say, Mahomes got injured. That's why Josh Allen got that ring. It's a half a ring. Get out of here.
So 10 years from now, do you think Nick's argument is going to be, well, that was the year Mahomes got hurt? Yeah. And he'll completely forget that they were terrible?
He will totally forget. I think he already has. I think the nation already is subscribed to this narrative that, well, Mahomes got injured that year. Dog, they stunk.
That's a good show.
He got injured after. the injury.
It's a good show, yo. You yelling, get out of here, and him yelling, you jump in the ocean. Like that's where all of this has to descend to. Can we get the useless sound montage ready as a palate cleanser here? I need to laugh at Mike Tomlin and Sean McVay.
Mission accomplished.
Simple as going back to work, and we got to get better.
We always talk about let's not react, let's respond.
Out there for the anthem, and as the game just got going, I was just thankful, grateful that I was out there.
There were just some things offensively that we were doing that were messing ourselves up, basically every aspect.
Their team was better than our team.
There's a number of issues that we have to end up looking at, and some of that you don't have to look at the film.
We have to make sure that we move on quickly. We look at the film. We make sure we tidy up the things that we need to.
You know, I want to look at the film first, Calvin.
Staff and I, we're going to come in. We're going to watch this thing together tomorrow, all of us, in all three phases.
In all three phases, there's different areas that continuously need to improve upon.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. We had a young player that actually was blocking out of bounds. That's what they were saying, allegedly. So
just being able to earn the right to be able to get the pen back in your hand a little bit defensively.
My wife always tells me I'm crazy because there's been times in the last 3 or 4 years I said, I wish I could just throw one and get hit.
Certainly we wanted to engineer victory, but we wanted to do it in a certain way.
The major focus to me was getting the ball in the end zone.
We got to play better ball if we want to win games against good teams.
when you give up that many points, that's tough.
How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job?
Guys, just playing one snap at a time, Kurt. I think that was the key and critical factor.
Man, we love Monday Night Football.
Strong lower body guy. That's real.
I know that on the end of the book it says we turned the ball over, but we didn't turn the ball over.
I don't think the weather was a factor. I think their team outperformed us.
What's resulted in not having penalties has been the discipline of how we've been playing.
Getting a game like that, knew we were going to need some points.
You don't look at the scoreboard. You just continue to try to stack good plays, stay totally and completely present.
They executed tonight, and we didn't.
We didn't expect it to be easy, but certainly after we got it going, we had a little bit of fluidity there.
Really, at the end of the day, it's about pride that you have for yourself, your last name on your back, you know, who you are as a husband, who you are as a father, as a son, as a teammate.
Isaiah has a knee.
You know, we talk about our play style, talk about play smart and finish. That did not show up for us today.
You do feel like we are improving in some ways.
It should burn at you, it should eat you up.
You got to care enough where the hurts. You got to care enough where the hurts. It got to mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood.
The fact that it's been 1,800 days since I've thrown a touchdown, or an interception for that matter. So we got both of those checked.
Staying in the moment, they kept making them snap it one more time on the defensive side of the ball.
Supremely disappointed in the outcome, and I think it does a disservice to the objective, the work that we were doing on this opponent.
I think the score was 13-13 or 13-10, so still had a fighting chance. Are we out of the playoffs? We are. Okay.
It's that time of year. It doesn't need to be said.
I mean, how do I answer that one, right, without you really putting me in a, obviously the family stuff is, what the hell kind of question is that right there?
We believe in the strength of the pack, and a lot of guys stepped up certainly and made that a truism.
My wife is a total stud. My respect just watching and getting an up close and personal look at this. I could never do this stuff.
See you next week. Keep watching.
Put it on the poll. Is your wife a total stud at Le Batard Show? Trista, are you cold? This seems to be an affliction in our studio.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Okay, so you're struggling with the winter.
Was Sean McVay saying he got an up close and personal look at the crowning of his child coming out of a vaginal canal? Is that what he was saying?
I'm pretty sure that, she's a total stud.
That was graphic.
They gave the child a crown?
Did you guys do that?
You got to peek.
No.
I didn't.
I went into the game there knowing I don't need to see what's happening
I peeked.
That was the advice that I got. Don't look, and I didn't.
Don't look.
I'm going to tell y'all right now, as crazy as it sounds, have you ever seen a C-section?
Yeah.
That's actually what I looked at.
That one is crazy.
That I saw.
That one is crazy.
I was trying not to look there.
A lot of red.
I saw the organs. Like,
all right.
Dan, listen to me. Listen to me, because this is
No,
this.
I don't
No,
wanna
you
listen
got Dan.
to
You got to
You
listen.
know
to
about
me.
that C-section?
Dan,
OG
Dan, for
Ananobi.
years,
Ananobi.
I'd watch movies and they're like,
Hanging
oh,
a banner.
the Predator like disembowels a guy and the guts and all that stuff. I'm like, that looked fake as hell.
It's pretty surreal to.
Boy, this shit was on point. I owe a massive apology to Hollywood. You guys know exactly what the insides of a person look like because I seen it.
It's wild having a conversation,
Crazy.
trying to motivate somebody while they're like in your peripheral vision. A spleen is just being lifted out of a body.
They put it on a tray.
Yep, it's on a tray.
Hey, here we go. Just put it on this TV tray over here.
Miracle of birth, huh?
Holy hell.
28 points for OG Anunoby last night.
Why would you need to motivate someone who's having the baby cut out of them?
It's just something you say.
You're doing
They don't
great.
have to do any work.
You're doing great.
I don't have to do any work at all.
Keep it up. You're doing
I'm
great.
not having my spleen removed.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Love you so
What
much.
are
You're
you
so
supposed to-
strong.
Yeah.
Trista, it's optics.
Oh, I see.
Because if you don't do that, you're like, this bastard. His poor wife was there getting shredded to pieces, and he just stood there checking fantasy football scores on his phone.
20 more minutes, and you can eat sushi again. It's ice chips.
Ice chips.
wife is a total stud. I want to get to McDaniel talking about benching Tua, but before I do that, because this got away from me earlier in the show. So the Miami Heat are getting bleeped here in a way that's super strange and needs to be covered a little bit better because the NBA is unprepared and for a gambling scandal that looks like this, because how would they know what this whole Terry Rozier thing was, given that, they helped normalize all of this when they decided to get in bed with gambling partners like our beloved partner DraftKings, because there are dangers around some of this that we've seen, and they're not totally prepared to handle all of the dangers that come as they try to figure out what the rules are. So it really seems like Adam Silver doesn't know what he's doing about the blatant unfairness that the Miami Heat traded for a player who had a gambling issue and now can't get rid of that contract and can't trade it. So let's listen to Adam Silver. This is the first time I've heard him address this, and it seems fairly obvious. I'd like to know what I'm missing here, that the Miami Heat are just getting bleeped by the NBA, doesn't know how to handle any of this because it's all new. And so he's out here pretending like he doesn't know anything and can't do anything as the commissioner of the league.
It's essentially out of our hands. As you know, these are federal indictments in the case of Terry Rozier in Brooklyn, New York, the Eastern District of New York. We had investigated him at some point earlier. We had not found sufficient evidence to discipline him under the rules of the league, and then at some point that investigation was taken over, by federal authorities. So, as I said, it's in their hands.
It's out of their hands. Like, does he think that people want him, the NBA, to put Terry Rozier in prison? What's out of their hands?
So the question was a long question by Tim Reynolds. Of
Good
the
job by
Associated
Tim
Press.
Reynolds for bringing it up, because I don't know anyone else.
It was the first question of the press conference.
Good job.
It was the first question, and it was a long. Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, no, Mike Ryan is made Tim Reynolds excommunicado.
No, but he did a good job. You got to ask that question.
I think Mike Ryan gave you a blistering stare because you saluted Tim Reynolds.
I got to be fair.
I don't shush my boy in the Panthers press box. That's not something you do.
Will Manzo!
You don't shush him.
Mike Ryan bullied Tim Reynolds, and it was unfair what you did to him, and it was excommunicado. And what else? What was the other? No longer friends. No longer friends with
You
Tim
and I,
Reynolds.
not friends.
You guys just reminded me now. There was a moment when I walked into the media workroom, and I was going to ask Vinny Goodwill something, and I came in a little jocular, but not overly loud and not long and pronounced. It's just like, hey, some funny thing, and Tim was like typing, and he turned around, and he did give a look.
Yeah, he's a professional.
That has nothing to do with professionalism.
You're not professional.
No, a professional, you know what a professional does? You keep it trucking despite all the distractions. You don't do the, stop making noises, I'm trying to type.
We're writing over here.
Yeah.
Put on headphones.
Get in the weeds.
Welcome to 2025, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of ways to make content.
It's not my only problem with Tim.
But to answer Zazzle's question, Tim's question was long, and the first part of his question was, can you shed any light on the status of the investigation into the arrests of Chauncey and Terry Rozier? That's the part that we just played there. That's the part Adam Silver was responding to. Tim's other part of his question was, is the part within that Rozier remains on the books in Miami.
Right.
He's 17% of the cap. Draft pick going there. Has the league considered any relief to the Heat about what they can do in that situation? That answer that he's giving is not to that part of the question.
Okay, so then the commissioner does answer the part about the Miami Heat
Yes.
and like if there's anything that they could do in regards to that situation. I believe we also have that
No,
video.
he does not have it yet. We'll come back with it in a second. But before we go any further on this, what is the framing that anyone outside this could say this is not Miami homerific protectionism? It seems like the Miami Heat are getting bleeped here by something that the NBA doesn't know how to handle.
Right. The thing they're getting bleeped on, right, is if it was known this guy is under investigation, even if Adam Silver is saying, hey, we only have limited tools in terms of investigating this kind of allegation, we exhausted those tools, and so we couldn't have an adjudication there. But if they knew that there was something greater at play than them, meaning the federal investigation into him, and they allowed that deal to happen, then to me, I feel like there has to be a recouping of that conversation. Yeah. Having said that, this is kind of like Mike's thing with Mahomes tore his ACL, so that's why the Chiefs missed the playoffs. Well, no, they were awful anyway. The deal, he did the deal with Terry Rozier. It was a bad deal. Him, getting indicted or not, does not impact the value they got out of the deal.
Okay, so here is the commissioner now addressing the Miami Heat part of this whole situation.
In terms of Miami, this is an unprecedented situation, and I think I'm incredibly sympathetic to the Heat and to their fans. But I think we're going to try to work this out with them. But there's no obvious solution here. I would just say that there's no doubt at the moment they have a player that can't perform services for them, and and as to the draft pick they conveyed, obviously he hasn't been convicted of anything yet either, but this is an unfortunate circumstance. But sometimes there's these unique events, and maybe sometimes they require unique solutions. So we'll be looking at this with the Heat and the other teams in the league and see if there's any satisfactory relief. But at the moment, there is none.
He makes the rules, right?
Yeah, but what's the rule you want him to make here?
The one for my team.
An unprecedented situation. So because it's never happened before, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have a clue. He's such a nothing.
It was once unprecedented to take someone's team from them.
He's a nothing, Adam Silver.
He can make the rules. They're his rules.
What is the rule? What is the rule that you guys are looking for here?
He's sitting here arriving in a situation that he's saying this has no precedent, and he's correct. And because they've gotten it wrong on how they handled it the first time, he could say, yeah, they should have their draft pick back. It's okay.
Okay, so then what happens if comes back Terry Rozier innocent, not guilty? Then what? Oh, wait, that pick that you got back, give it right back?
Wait a
second. What are we doing?
You look at the precedent can be we look at these things case by case.
Sure.
That can be the precedent.
Sure. I don't think he made a ruling in that statement. I think he's saying, we got to see how this plays out.
The Miami Heat claim that if they knew about the investigation, they would not have made this trade. So it doesn't matter if Rozier's innocent or guilty. Give them the pick back.
It's not due process here, That's not due process. That's criminal. That's court. That's not due process. It's I'm the commissioner. I decide. I've made this decision. If I got it wrong, I'll fix it the next time. Let's be honest and transparent. Or, holy shit, I didn't realize that this could ever happen to me, and I don't know what to do.
Till he uniseamed him from the nave
Rolling. Don't let them deter you.
to the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun gins his reflection.
You missed your cue.
Shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So from that spring whence comfort seemed to come.
Wait a minute. There wasn't a question mark there.
Discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, Mark, no sooner justice had with valor armed.
Oh, you think he's done?
Humbled These skipping
Compelled.
These skipping kerns to trust their heels.
Not compelled. We need
But the
compelling.
Norwegian lord surveying vantage.
Which is it?
Furbished arms.
Vintage or vantage?
And new supplies of men.
All right, we've
begin a fresh assault.
We've tested his
Hey,
endurance.
not this. Our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
And scene.
You almost made it to the finish line. You started leaking confidence. It was not unlike the race outside in Freedom. You were very confident for a moment, and then you fell at the finish line. But
Showed his long track.
Excellent, Chris. Excellent.
Vintage, vantage.
Long white crap.
Coupled, compelled.
Billy does Barbados Carnival.
So welcome back, Billy, and I don't know where this particular tension is going to end up. Welcome back, and I also want to get to Mike Ryan. He does not agree with you on Hard Knocks, Chris. He doesn't.
Oh, trust me, we had a whole text exchange last night. I almost drove to his house to fight him.
Yeah, you guys have very wildly disparate opinions on the Oakland Raiders and Hard Knocks. But first, Billy, welcome back. How was your honeymoon?
It was good. Thank you for asking.
Oh, he's tightened up his game now that he's refreshed. Okay, things are
it's
just
so hot today, Dan. I don't know what's going on with the air, but luckily I have this little fan that I bought before a hurricane that I have plugged into my phone, so like it's keeping me nice and cool.
I'm so jealous.
You guys should get these.
Yeah.
These things are awesome. Look at it, Dan. You see this thing? Look at this.
Can you please tell me about all the awkward things that happened to you? Did anything weird happen to you in Barbados? Like what kind of, just give me some awkward Billy on his honeymoon stuff. Is there anything that...
The non-awkward would be a much shorter story.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going to go. What's the best you got from your honeymoon? And then we'll move on to other things like Antonio trying to steal your job.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, well, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it.
Whoa!
Antonio, just go sit in his chair. We'll get back to it.
I'm back, baby.
I want to hear the whole story. I just don't understand why you can't even get the name right of Carnival and like
It's Crop Over. That's fine.
Why is it called a honeymoon?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Put it on the poll, Antonio, now that you've replaced Billy in his chair. Do you know why they call it a honeymoon? Mike, do you have the sound? A very simple sound, a very simple question. Basically, I want you to hear Billy, who has a reputation for yammering and just not being able to get anything out, and he's rusty, because he hasn't been paying attention to the internet for 10 days. So he came in here today, and it was just a furnace blast of news, all of it weird, disorienting. The local hour has gone someplace else.
We showed him Antonio Brown's feet.
Yeah, like he's missed a lot. I'm actually scared when I disappear for my honeymoon. I'm going to come back and I feel like things are just going to be gone. There's the possibility like the shipping container room just floated off into the Atlantic Ocean.
We're still not out of hurricane season.
Yeah, I am going to fall it's very easy to fall very far behind, very fast when it comes to the amount of stimulation and news and sports stuff that you are getting. Billy was off the grid. He comes back. Everything's changed except his inability to say anything quickly. So
Where is White now?
Everything is different. Like you
That's the most efficient you've ever been.
Yes. Look at that. Did you learn something on your honeymoon? Okay, so lest you think he has cured his ills of not being efficient, please play for the audience. This is Billy Rusty returning from his honeymoon. Just him simply trying to say where he was.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, well, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's
for
a
the
different
love of
story.
God. All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it.
Whoa!
You would have
kept going. You would have given it 20 names if I didn't cut you off and kick you out. You would have given it 20 names. Actually, the roots of the word come from the 1700s and indigenous people.
I was upset you did that to Billy his first day back, but hearing it back, he absolutely deserved it.
Again, yes. I want you to hear again, just Mike, the last part of it, where he's simply trying to say, Billy is simply trying to tell us, this is a very simple transaction. Hey, Billy, where were you? What were you doing? He got snagged and stuck on where were you?
I've had a lot of awkwardness, well, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside. How do I not get frustrated with that? Like, I missed it for 10 days, but I don't miss it anymore.
Those are important details.
I normally don't hear, but I heard it.
All right, start again then. And real quick, Mike, just the short version, Billy being asked, where were you, Billy, on your honeymoon? This is a simple question. It gets a simple response in most circumstances, unless you're talking to Billy.
So in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, Billy, we've established where you are and what it's called, kind of. Now, proceed.
All right, so this is how it works. Crop Over is like a couple months long, and Kadooment is like the grand finale, and it's like a carnival type thing, and you guys will see from time to time, every once in a while, Rihanna will go back to Barbados, and she'll be like parading in the streets, and it's like Brazilian carnival, basically. So we wanted to do that, which is not something that at all is something that I would probably ever be in my comfort zone, right? You would think me parading.
Well, it's a lack of repressions. It is free, liberated people being themselves. So of course that's the worst place in the world for you to be soaked in fear.
Oh, it gets worse. So to participate in this, you have to sign up with what are called bands, and they have a bunch of different bands that you sign up for. So we found a band, and then I get my costume. You have to pay to get costumes. So I'm going through the streets, and I'm shirtless, and I'm in pink shorts and a cowboy hat and all this fake jewelry that they have on, that it's like massive, like this pendant around my chest and like these arm cuffs. So I'm like going through the streets dressed not in all way that I'd ever be comfortable doing it. And I thought that, you know what, it's like a parade. It'll be like the Three Kings parade that they have in you know, Dade County, and it'll be like a couple blocks, whatever, Thanksgiving Day parade. So when we're in the taxi to get there, I asked the guy, I go, how long is this parade? And he's like, oh, it's 9 to 10 miles. And I'm like, whoa. 9 to 10 miles, like that cannot be right. So I'm like feverishly looking through my phone. Like, I need to find the parade route. I need to know exactly where I'm going through Barbados. I need to know.
You're doing this with like bejeweled and all sorts of fake jewelry.
Oh yeah, dressed like a clown in the back of it. And don't get me started on Barbados taxis, because it doesn't cost $20 American to go everywhere. Okay, like I went like 10 blocks. $20 is way too much to go on a taxi 10 blocks. All right.
Once you're in the cab in their territory, they've got you, Bill. It doesn't matter. You're lucky it was only $20.
Put it on the poll. Once you're on the cab in their territory, do they have you?
It's a home game for them.
A bit steep for the amount of travel that we were, like 2 miles, $20 seems like a lot, but whatever. So I find out that it's actually a 10K, which is like 6 miles. But either way, I'm not prepared to be walking through the heat dressed like a clown for 6 miles. I haven't walked 6 miles in my life, I don't think. I don't know the last time I did it. And I wasn't wearing my Fitbit, so none of the steps counted. That's the only reason I wear my Fitbit, so my steps count. But if I don't wear my Fitbit, the steps don't count. So it was a total waste of time walking through here. And I was sunburned, obviously. There was lots of
the jewelry. From the jewelry.
Oh, if I could show you the burn that
Please
I had.
Please do. Like,
oh wow!
I had a giant circle here for a little bit. Yeah, there was a big circle here for a little bit. Yeah. Everyone was drinking alcohol, but I was drinking water. I thought I was going to pass out and die on the street.
You were careful and responsible at Carnival.
I had to pee so many times, and you had to pay extra to use the wee-wee cart. You know what the wee-wee cart is? I didn't. I had to ask, what is the wee-wee cart? It was basically this flatbed truck with like 6 or 7 porta potties on the back of it, and you had to just kind of hop on it while it's moving, and then go into the porta potty and then hop out.
That's a heady play, man.
That's wonderful.
That sounds delightful.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Man, you guys talk about some weird time for some ads.
So what was the most awkward visually?
Like where you're wearing the costume and you find yourself in an uncomfortable place in the cab? Like, was there any place where you were most uncomfortable wearing that stuff?
In public. I'll show you guys the pictures. I'm not putting them out there because I don't trust the internet and I don't trust these listeners because they'll just embarrass me forever if I show you the pictures. I'll show you guys. It was ridiculous. And by the way, the things that were going on in this parade.
Yeah, sensual.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
I saw things I've never seen before.
Baby.
Best F1 minutes with Jessica Spatino.
After a blank space on the calendar, Formula One is back in Azerbaijan despite its reputation for tight corners and narrow roads. F1 is putting a sprint race in Baku. On Saturday, Charles Leclerc is fearless in pole position as the sprint begins. But at the start, London boy George Russell delivers some karma to Max Verstappen, making him a move to push him wide. Max is red, but George says, "Don't blame me." Number 22, Yuki.
Welcome to another episode of Insights to Mediocrity. I'm Jeremy Taché here with our expert, our superstar, Tony Kaladiu.
Good to be here, Jeremy.
How does 10-Day Tony know when he's in the zone?
It's something that I can't explain. It's something that I can't teach. It's something that I like to test when I'm in the zone by taking further and further shots, right? So, like, if I hit a corner three, okay, I'm supposed to do that. But if I'm on a transition on a 3-on-2 and I've got two guys jutting in from the sides and I'm running point up top, I may pull up from maybe a little close to half court just to see where we're at. If I hit that, the next step, I shoot lefty. I guarantee people that watch this, that will watch this at some point, that have played basketball with me in these leagues, know that I can pull up lefty from anywhere and still stroke. It's crazy. I'm not joking. This is not a lie. Like, I know I'm in the zone. Either we're down by a lot and I can shoot lefty, or we're up by a lot and I can shoot lefty, but I shoot lefty and I make a good percentage of my shots. I've made 3 in a row from 3 lefty.
I mean, if you can make 3 in a row from 3 lefty, it might as well find your way to the league, 10-Day Tony.
Again, that's what I think we're here for, right? Like,
what are your views on today's defensive schemes in the NBA?
You know what the best defense is?
What's that?
A great offense. I score, you try to stop me, you can't, I win. That's my defensive situation.
That's pretty simple math.
Have I been criticized for maybe not going after a loose ball or two? Sure, that's fair. Have I been criticized for maybe not stepping in and help defense when there's a guy that could possibly dunk? Yeah.
How does that make
agree.
you any different than James Harden?
All I'm saying is, yeah, he's going to get the dunk, okay? I'm not going to be there when he does it, but when he does get it, I'm going to get that ball out of the hoop. We're pushing. We're playing fast pace. I'm going to get out to the shooters. I'm going to be a shooter. We're going to get 3 to your 2. So defense, yeah, is it a part of the game? Sure, okay. You got me. It is. But my defense is a great offense.
I said shorter. These need to be shorter. The two of them, you put them in a room, they think everything longer is better.
Yeah, it's not a situation in which they didn't get the note. I know they received the note. They just looked at the note and decided, well, go to hell.
How is Insights to Mediocrity longer than Insights to Excellence?
That's right.
Like Michael Jordan was faster.
You got the funny device. Have them say something stupid. Go to end credits.
That's it. Just one joke.
30 seconds.
One joke, get out. And just 2 sentences. Tony believes his own bullshit.
Yes. Don't actually make it mediocre.
You guys were yelling at each other.
Dan, we have breaking news from the NFL. Courtesy of Adam Schefter, a major move in Miami. The Dolphins are benching quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and turning to Quinn Ewers as their new starting quarterback, per Shorshish.
Nice.
So what does that mean? Is that the end?
Yeah.
Is that the official announcement of the end before it's the end? Because they've still got him under contract next year, and they're not playing for anything. You don't have to see anything from him. You don't want him to get hurt. You sure as shit don't need him concussed. That this doesn't mean he's not playing next year for them, correct? It just
I think it leans in that direction. There's
I'm
no
with
coming
Dan.
back. There's no coming back from this.
No, you can start him next year. You're out. You're done for the playoffs. You see what you have with Quinn Ewers. I'm not saying I think it could go either way, but he could start next season for them.
If Quinn Ewers shows any competence, it's over. It's over. Any competence. You can't come back from this. You bench Tua. He's been in the league 6 years. He's the number 5 overall pick. He's making $55 million a year. You bent. It's over.
You have to keep in mind Mike McDaniel is coaching for his job. He's just not. He's not talking to a GM in house who's forcing him to evaluate Quinn Ewers. Part of this decision is Mike McDaniel wants to save his job, and he's looking at that locker room. Maybe he's had some big macro conversation with Stephen Ross.
That's what I
saying,
think.
we're bringing you back, and let's see what we have in the kid. But on the surface, it feels like Mike McDaniel just made the choice that Quinn Ewers gives his team a better chance to win.
I think this is Mike McDaniel saying, I have job security. That's what it looks like to me.
Do I. I think Mike McDaniels knows whether he's coming back or not. Now, that can change. That somebody can become available, but I think he knows whether – I think once they made the decision over Greer, they're like, okay, are you going to be the quarterback whisperer? Can you do that with anybody? You did it with Tua, and everyone – you got Tua paid. Can you do it with anybody? Because I don't believe what we saw from Ewers in the preseason would tell us anything. I don't think. I mean, he was good enough to stave off Arch Manning at Texas, and then he played in the preseason and didn't show you much of anything. But if you believe, you guys were arguing that Kevin O'Connell was a quarterback whisperer. We know that Kyle Shanahan is the one guy in the league. The one. I mean, I guess maybe McVay. I don't know. But in terms of this person can make a quarterback out of somebody, Kyle Shanahan has proven that. Mike McDaniel has 3 games. Mike's got this right. Mike McDaniel. I don't think he's got right about the job security stuff, but I think Mike McDaniel absolutely wants to show the fan base and everybody something these last 3 games so next season doesn't feel as hopeless as it did a game ago.
It could be both. I've heard that Mike McDaniel, because of that run, did kind of solidify that he's coming back next year. Now, maybe things fall off the rails, and that is all subject to change. But I also think he saw the film of Tua, and every time that guy drops back, he's not giving me a shot.
I think Mike McDaniel comes out a winner either way in this situation because he's telling you, I can't coach a winning team with this guy as my quarterback anymore. And also, if Quinn Ewers comes out and shows any type of competence, he's also telling you, yeah, the thing I did with Tua, I can coach quarterbacks.
It would be a greater value that you would have from if you give me one thing that a coach can do, I want that, okay? And so I thought he could do that when they had the number 1 passing offense in the league. They've been able to run the football with whoever it is has been playing quarterback, mostly, I'll say, because they were better with Tua than they were with anyone else. I just don't know if this is over. If you had to bet right now, Zaz has been reactionary with this team all year. He spits poison. He's emotional about all of these things. Hasn't been wrong necessarily either. If you had to bet money, is Tua their starting quarterback, yes or no, next year?
Yes. If you're Mike McDaniel, the quintessential player's coach, and you have that much money committed to Tua, and you know that he is 1 concussion away from being done, and the season is done for sure, why would you have him out there and risk somebody that now you have all this dead money, and at least now there's a hope that Tua can figure things out in the offseason?
This feels like news, but it's just a team has been eliminated from the playoffs and has to play the other guys.
I'm sure you
the
can.
Games don't mean anything.
I'm sure you can find a recent example, but whether it be a vet like Kirk Cousins or a younger guy like Daniel Jones, when a team makes this decision, unless there's an injury, they don't go back.
Yeah, that's why I think it's news. I think this is the end. I don't think there's turning. I don't think you can go back to Tua now. This is the end.
You don't think that they would explain in the locker room we're going to give a bunch of other people chances the next 3 games because we can't get him concussed again?
What's the example of the quarterback coming back from that?
But what's the example that's a quarterback that's a concussion away publicly to everyone from retirement? Like, there's only 1 quarterback in the history of the league where you're afraid if you play him the last 3 games. Now the money's dead.
I think you and I are speaking the same language. I think it's done here in Miami.
But you're saying so you're saying though because of the concussion, like you're saving him from these final 3 games and possibly getting Gus again because you want to make sure he's healthy and ready to go for next year?
No, he's just got maybe protecting value. There's no value there.
Wait a minute,
value.
guys.
There's no value.
Guys,
it's a black hole of a
guys,
contract.
they're not going to have a quarterback next year that makes them compete with Josh Allen and the Patriots. That quarterback does not exist as available to them. Tua is the best of what they'll do. A quarterback, if they're keeping the coach stable, the best quarterback they're going to do is Tua, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's not a great quarterback draft class, but I'm sure you can talk yourself into somebody.
We have to wrap.
Okay, you mentioned that because we've got the bomb in the other room, and we've made her wait way too long. She has won all of the super featherweight titles. She's the co-headliner on this Anthony Joshua-Jake Paul fight. That's a co-headliner situation. Last time she fought in front of 6 million people on Netflix. Netflix is doing a monster thing. Jake Paul is doing a monster thing across the street, and we have been disrespectful by making this woman wait and endure our Tua talk. I'm very sorry about that, Alicia. The bomb. I really got Mike excited when I told them her nickname. They did not know that she was the bomb.
Was it a tough nickname to come up with?
Not really. I think it actually fit. Since Bumgarner is just so bold within itself, the bomb just made sense.
But to have a name like the Bottle, you have to punch really hard, right?
You do. You have to punch hard and make a statement.
Like I wouldn't be able to be called the bomb.
How do nicknames work? Does someone give it to you in boxing, or can you throw up some nominees of your own?
You know, it's really up to you. You know, some people may give you some ideas, but I think ultimately when you're the one stepping into the ring, you want to come up with your own ring name, and the bomb just fit.
I got to be honest here. I'm distracted. Boxing has never smelled this good.
What?
No, I've been around boxers. I love covering boxing. Look, boxing is my favorite sport to write about because people who do this as a way of earning money, I admire them, and I wonder what happened to them that made them choose this as a life path. You come from a family of fighters, right? Everybody in the family is a fighter?
That's right, yes. Family are all fighters, and the hometown that I grew up in Ohio, Fremont, we had a small boxing gym. And my dad's like, hey, do you want to box? And I had wrestled first before I started boxing. And you have to be 8 years old to start. And I'm like, yeah, I'll box. Not even knowing what I'm getting myself into, but I did have the mentality, the work ethic to say, yes, let's do it.
You have to be a little crazy, though, to choose it as a living, right? I'm going to earn money this way as a career.
You do got to be a little crazy, yes.
And so what was happening in that household that made everybody a fighter?
You know, I come from a big family. You know, I was once in a household of 15 people. So, you know, we're all trying to scram and, you know, get into the bathroom and things like that. But as a unit, we were just go-getters. We had that hustle mentality just to go get it because it wasn't going to be given to us.
Were there a lot of fights in the house?
You know, I was always fighting with my brother. You know, I have 4 sisters, but it was always me and my brother always fighting.
You haven't had any remorse about your career choice, right? Because I would imagine it's been a grind. No boxer has an easy story.
No, I have no second chances on what I chose to do, and I love it. I love the grit. I love the challenge, the competitiveness that I have, and I love to showcase that. The fight is the fun part.
Canelo smells very good.
Yeah?
No, I'll agree with you. I sat next to him, and
Baccarat.
Not this good. Not this good.
This is mind games.
Not this. This is not what boxing has ever smelled like in my life.
Oh, he smelled amazing in Tahoe.
You're obviously very confident. You have to be. I would imagine every fighter is very confident. But right before the fight, like, what are you thinking to yourself? You're walking down to because you know it's like, okay, like I think I'm going to win. I've trained really hard, but you can't get hurt.
Yeah, you know, it goes through my mind, but ultimately, I take my time. I envision everything, the walkout, when I'm stepping into the ring, once the bell rings, and it's go time, you know? And you have to have that confidence. And I'm talking, it's overfilling at this point. I can even feel my adrenaline pumping up right now just talking about it because I've waited so long. And again, the fight is where the fun happens.
Because you're ready, right?
Because I'm ready.
Because can you take us through how it is that you arrive at ready? Because this was postponed for a month. I don't know how that changes your training regimen.
Yeah, you know, I was in camp already for 8 weeks, you know, and then the fight got canceled. It got moved. I did a total of camp for like almost 11 weeks. So the mentality is, hey, you know, this gets repetitive and you understand what's ahead of you. So stay consistent. still show up to the gym, still put in the work, because again, these are the times it's going to really showcase who you are as a fighter, as an athlete, as a woman. When things come at you, how are you going to pivot? Everything is about pivoting in boxing, and it's about having balance and making sure that when the time has come, you are ready, you are prepared.
6 million people, though, you're walking to the ring and it's the same mindset. You don't even have to still your mind. It's, no, I'm ready for this. I've been working for this my entire life.
I'm ready. I'm at that moment, I'm taking in all the energy and what is given at that given moment, because once it's gone, it's gone. So I live in the moment, I take a hold, and I thrive through it.
A lot of people talk about standing on business, but you vacated your WBC belt in order for this fight to be fought under men's championship rules. Why was that so important for you?
You know, it was important because it was offered as a challenge. And one thing about me, I love to take a challenge. And when we think about equality, women and men are greatness. That's a standard, right? And so when given the same pathway for a woman to be on the same runway as a Jake Paul, you're able to see it as a whole. And we always take advantage of it, and that's why I am fighting on the co-main, to show the world why boxing is what it is.
You're very proudly carrying the banner for women's boxing, but you have a wrestling base. Have you had to turn away overtures from mixed martial arts companies to see if you want to try your hand at that?
You know, they have asked. I never turned down an offer. Like I said, I love to fight. I love to be a competitor, and I just love it, y'all. I'm a born athlete. So it's just one of those things that's in me, not on me.
Yes, this world done got crazy. There's a bunch of stuff going on everywhere. How important is it for a woman of faith like yourself and myself, you feel me, to keep the Lord God first in all of those situations? Like you say, vacating the belt. How important is keeping him, you know what I mean, involved in those decisions?
Yeah, it's important to be faith-driven. You know, baby, sometimes we don't have nothing, but you have faith as a mustard seed. I will plant that, and I will water that, and I will believe in it, because I believe in myself. I believe in what the Lord has already told me. And you have to understand that life is hard, but life is also what you give it. And there is no give up in me. Baby, I may fall 10 times, but I'm going to get up 12.
There's so much bravado in this sport. You have to, I suppose, have it. But how do you do with fear? Because it doesn't sound like you're articulating any of that. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's just the ability to overcome it. So I've heard, one of the reasons I love covering boxing is because oftentimes boxers will just talk about their vulnerabilities, because once you're in the ring and it's just you and your talents, you either believe in yourself or you don't.
Yeah, it's either you believe in yourself or you don't. And to be honest, you know, I'm faced with doubt every day. You know, there's doubt and there's success right next to each other. What are we going to choose today? How are we going to show up today? Are we going to give 50%? We're going to give 100. We're going to give 100 because anybody would want the platform that you have. Take advantage of the moment. Take advantage of the opportunities. And I just know when I look back, I can't say I could have did that. I should have did that. I did it, and I loved it.
Your dreams didn't look like this, though, right? Like whatever the top of the mountain was, it wasn't fighting on a co-headline Netflix event where there are going to be, I mean, if you did 6 million last time, I can't even imagine what the projections are for this one. Right.
You know, I always dream high, and I know that there's no ceiling for me. There's no box that I could be put in. So it's just, it's surreal when you think about it.
But you can dream high and not have the. What did the dream look like? Whenever it is, not at 4 or at 6 or at 8, but as you got closer to building something, you're still struggling. Mm-hmm. You're still doubting. You know, there's not any money in this at the beginning.
Right.
And so your wildest dreams looked like what? It looked like I'm going to co-headline a main event on Netflix.
Listen, and yes, that's true, but that's just the stepping point of what's more to come. There's so much more to come, but you have to take the steps through it. And so even though I may not have seen this, I knew that it was coming. But as long as I'm putting in the work to be ready for the opportunity, it's going to show up, and here we are.
What do you do when you're not boxing?
What do I do when I'm not boxing? I'm hanging out. I'm an outside girly, so I love to fish. I love to be outside. I love my dog.
See, when you said outside, I was thinking something else. Outside, you talking about outdoors.
Outdoors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the nature is where I get my zen space at, you know? So I love the beach. I love that I'm even in Miami just to get that that solitude, that time with me and the Lord, and just, you know, speaking things into existence. You know, 26 is around the corner. You know, how are we pivoting? This year has been a very trying year, but I always persevere through. So 26 is becoming, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
I like watching TV.
Watching TV, yeah. I like a little documentaries here and there, but, you know, when I think about the substance that I need in order for my mind to be in a good place, I want to fill it with substance, something that's going to keep me going.
I imagine also to be as excellent as you are, though, that you have to be sort of consumed, obsessive with, there wouldn't be much other than boxing and faith. There's not a lot of room for anything else because you've got everyone else wanting what you now have.
That's true. And I also find my balance, though, within it, you know, just to be a woman and sit in my femininity and to be with my girls and to go shopping. Like, it's also important to know that my identity isn't just boxing, that Alicia goes to bed at night and AB, the fighter, comes to war.
Do you ever feel bad? Like you look at the screen right here. You're punching.
Why would she feel bad?
Like-
That's what she's chosen to do. She's got to be proud of
Yeah,
that.
but look at that girl's face.
You ever say sorry after?
No.
Yeah, you ever feel bad?
Really?
Listen, it's
Really?
actually funny because there's a slight, because I'm a loving, caring person at heart. And sometimes I do slightly feel a little bad,
See,
but at
Dan?
the same time, I know what I was called to do and what I'm doing. So, you know, it comes with the game.
I don't believe you. I think you're happy. You're like, hell yeah.
I mean, in the fight, like, yeah.
There
Yeah,
it is.
eat that to the face.
There you go.
Wait a minute. That renders insincere everything you said before. That eat that is not the same as I'm sorry.
Only after the fight, you know. Oh, thanks, girl. But no, in the fight, eat that. And yeah, I'm trying to demolish you.
Do you have time to think in the middle of the fight? Oh, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, you're thinking, you're planning. It's chess there, and it's moving fast. But yes, I do.
Where does this rank in terms of challenges? I don't know what the trash talking is in your sport. Do you sell your fights by doing any trash talk?
I'm selling my fight. Yes, you know, we giving hooks and we giving looks and we giving, you know, a lot of talking. But one thing about it, you got to back it up. And a lot of people, when they see women fighters, you know, they only look at them one way. But baby, I am the rainbow, so I'm covering a lot of things.
Hey.
When you say you're serving hooks and looks and you're staring down your opponent, what are you channeling?
You know, honestly, I'm just looking in their soul. I'm not even kidding. I'm literally staring in your eyes, and I'm envisioning me punching you when it comes to fight night. And I want them to feel the energy. Energy is felt when you walk into a room. And so when I'm looking at you,
whoa, don't do that to me.
I'm coming for you.
He's soft.
What documentaries are we watching? Did you catch Age of Disclosure? They're aliens.
I have not. But I did just watch, what was it, House of David on Amazon Prime. The story of David and Goliath. Wow, great series.
What's the worst part of the life?
Worst part of the life? What do you mean?
He's doing an inside joke at my expense. I ended an interview with somebody by asking the question of the grind and the life you've chosen. What's the worst part of it? But when he offers no context there, he's just amusing himself and segments of the audience.
Ryan Blaney had no idea what hit him.
At my expense. So, but he's asking you. Now I got to translate your shit question. Excuse me. What is the worst part of the life?
What is the worst part of the life?
And why is it this interview?
I'm crying, not the interview.
Thank you for being on with us. We're going to watch this.
We didn't even ask about Jake Paul.
Does he have Jake got a chance? Jake got a
No,
chance
he doesn't
here?
have a chance. He doesn't have any kind of
Jake
chance.
does have a chance. When we think about boxing, listen, y'all, when we think about boxing, it could be any fighter's night. We've seen many upsets in boxing. I'm not saying it's this one. I'm just saying Jake has a punching chance, and so does AJ.
How much have you gotten to know him? Like, what do you make of all the discourse around him?
Yeah, you know, listen, Jake he believes in himself. He believes in the brand that he's been able to build for himself from the beginning of his YouTube days into who he is today as a fighter. You have to be serious about what you do, especially when it comes to boxing. So I've seen him in the gym. I've seen the trainers that he's trained with, and he is very serious about it because you have to be. This is a combat sport. It could be your night, and you can get very hurt. So, yeah, I think he takes it very serious, and I think he's ready.
You're signed to Jake Paul's most valuable promotions. You had to say that. You have to say that.
Dan, be careful before she looks into your soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
But first, I do want to mention it was Dan's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Birthdays are important. Celebrate those wins in life.
How old do you think he is?
I'll give them a good 40.
Hey,
you are nice.
That's how you play the game, right there.
Listen, it's not about it's about how you feel inside.
174. That's how I feel inside.
Seriously, though, there are aliens out there. Marco Rubio talks on it. It's wild. You should check it out. Age of Disclosure.
She's the bomb, and she is fighting on Friday night on Netflix, co-headlining. The co-headlining.
Good luck.
She is a better fighter than Jake Paul.
That's T.
With Jeremy Taché.
Because Jeremy was an alleged journalist last night. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Jeremy, who is an up-and-comer in the broadcasting game and is someone who has now journalistic credentials around, literal credentials around the Heat and the Marlins. Yesterday he was hosting. And this is one of the great things, Stugotz, this time of year. We get it so infrequently around here in South Florida. But South Florida has always done this well. The rest of the country always makes fun of, you guys don't care about that sports that much. You're bandwagon people. All right. Many of us are. Not everyone is. The loyalists are super loyal. But Miami does the bandwagon better than anybody. Miami does. Everyone now show up for the party. And so you have, stunningly, a hockey arena in the Everglades, surrounded by airboats and alligators, filled with people to do the wave, watching the game on television. And at the Heat, across the street from us last night, Jeremy Taché is watching the end of that game with a lot of people who are excited. And Stugotz, I'm getting a lot of this. Jimmy was out of bounds, and it ended up being a 3. That was a goaltend ref culture win. Okay, whatever. Tell it to the people who were yelling and screaming around Jeremy.
How about this? 1-1, we're coming home.
Okay, who's we?
Yeah, I took the Heat in 5. Anyone else?
Wow. He's right.
All right, the Knicks are watching this like everybody
2
else.
rounds ago.
It was a long time ago, understandably. Here's Jeremy Taché not being a journalist while covering, again, an arena filled with people, but no players or athletes were there.
You're catching us right now as the Miami Heat have just won Game 2 of the NBA Finals. You can see that this crowd here is hoisting babies into the air. This crowd is ready from the moment this game started, and it has continued here as the Miami Heat have just upset the Denver Nuggets. We've got fans going crazy. We're high-fiving. Everybody's ready for an unbelievable night right here in Miami. The Kaseya Center was ready for a great night from the jump, as this energy around the entire lower bowl was electric from the moment this game started until the moment it ended. As we pan out to the rest of the crowd, you can see the entire lower bowl going absolutely crazy to end this game. The Miami Heat have just won it as Jamal Murray's shot has not gone in. I cannot believe what I've witnessed around me. There were moments in the fourth quarter where I couldn't hear myself think. I don't even know if you can hear me on the microphone. What a night at the Kaseya Center as the Miami Heat take their first game, their first win in Denver, and I know that this crowd right here is ready for an unbelievable party Wednesday night, Game 3 here in the Heat's house. Guys, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Oh, my gosh. Jeremy Taché doing that on one tank of oxygen.
Not a single breath taken. He was like one of those free divers that go down for 20 minutes at the bottom of the ocean. It was a record. And if you're listening just by audio and not watching, what you didn't see in that noise is there were 11 actual babies tossed in the air. Just infants
Seems
that were.
reckless.
It does. But hey, it's game 2.
Right.
Wait till game 7 of this thing.
Right.
11 babies, a fetus.
It's not going 7. I said 5. I mean,
That's right.
You did mention that.
Yeah.
The energy was actually insane. I don't remember any of that. I feel like I blacked out as that happened. It sounded like I was losing my voice. I wasn't losing my voice. I literally was just unhinged. I don't remember it. It was really amazing.
You blacked out. Excellent work by you, blacking out as a impartial observer of games.
Well, you can't be impartial if you're holding a microphone that says Heat TV.
My job
Right.
is sales
and
in that.
high-fiving.
You're
people.
emceeing.
Yeah.
Emceeing is really sales.
I'm
Right.
there.
Yeah.
I'm there to make sure everybody's ready to be at games 3 and 4. I'm there to make sure that everybody is ready to be at the road rally. Bally Sports, the heart of the fan.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Would the Zeller minutes look the same if you replaced him with a newborn giraffe?
Or that newborn baby that was being hoisted into the air.
The giraffe would just be more distracting. I feel like we'd have more success.
No,
It'd be
Zeller's plenty distracting.
Porter
He's right
Jr.
now.
would be like, why is there a giraffe on the court?
No. Listen to me. Zeller is a strong human being. He is a big human being. And when he starts balling around there.
I can't take my eyes off of him.
Well, no, nobody can. Nobody can. Jokic, you're hoping to distract Jokic. It's dangerous. It's like having a wrecking ball just move through the court, but it's like on a hinge that's not safe, and it's just swinging through, and you got to be careful because every once in a while they'll put one in with an offensive rebound, but everyone be careful because it might fly into the stands. The Zeller minutes are amazing. Yeah. They're a joy to watch.
Oh.
Ever since Tony pointed it out, those black shoes, they don't
it's
help.
The hair or lack of hair, too. It's kind of disturbing.
No, it's also the mask. Or just, again, I've mentioned that it should be a retainer, a wire that runs outside of his mouth. It's just
like
all
ear to ear.
That could impale someone.
And if not for a Theragun, that could be Dwayne Dedman.
Jeremy becomes Jeremy.
Okay, so we got a bear here stumbling around. You see that mirror to the left. He's like, oh, this is weird. There's a lot of weird stuff here. Oh, my God. I just saw myself. He's like, get out of here. So that's how I imagine a bear would react if they saw Jeremy in the woods.
But that's what they would do to me.
It's really screwed up to do that to a bear, honestly. Just like not expecting, just like having a nice stroll.
Right.
And we'll watch it one more time. This is good fun. Good, clean fun right here.
It really
He's
is.
just like, oh my God.
And then he's going,
He was definitely
what a good-looking bear.
Definitely scarred from that for a few months.
Who puts a mirror in the woods?
It's weird.
That's my question.
How did it get there?
It was probably for the internet video. They probably did that on purpose.
Yeah, but you're messing with bears. I mean,
it's not right.
Leave the bear alone.
Who would do something for the internet visually like that with a bear?
Imagine that.
What are the chances there was a camera right in front of it, too? Jeez. Small world.
Greg, it was interesting. A bunch of people agreed. Now, you had a weekend where the Eagles lost, the Niners lost, so no more undefeated teams. 72 Dolphins could celebrate. But a lot of people saying the Dolphins were the best team in the NFL through 6 weeks. And so I know you're impressed with the offense. Hawk was in here yesterday, Andrew Hawkins, Tomahawk Podcast. He said that Tyreek Hill is the best player, non-quarterback division, in the NFL. And I agree with him. The Dolphins are overwhelming. I'm not certain they're not the best team in the NFL right now, Greg.
I think they are at this minute. They're an underdog in Philadelphia, but only by 2.5 points, which is very interesting. Definitely they have the best offense. I think it's the best offense in Dolphins history. And when I write that, I get a lot of criticism. Too soon. What about this? What about that? Look, the Dolphins won Super Bowls with Larry Zonka because they ran the ball better than anybody and barely passed. They were as exciting as ever and broke NFL records with Dan Marino because they passed the ball like nobody else, but they didn't have a great running game.
Right.
Now they're doing both. They can run the ball like crazy. They lead the league in rushing. Raheem Mostert has 11 touchdowns in 6 games. And Tua is everything they thought he would be when they drafted him number 5 ahead of Herbert. Tua is the favorite in the MVP odds right now.
Should be.
With great reason.
Yep.
And I just think this is the most dynamic, well-balanced, inventive, exciting offense I've ever had.
Can we end the debate between Herbert and Tua?
Yes.
Is it officially
Yes.
over?
Wow.
Yes.
Someone's making a noise. Where's the noise coming from? Nah, Tony's not ready.
Oh, yeah.
Can we see Justin Herbert without Brandon Staley? At that point, maybe with a better coach, I'd be intrigued.
We're going to ask that question about Justin Herbert for his whole career, right?
Yes.
We're just going to keep asking, like, oh, but what if he was with a better coach?
Oh, always.
He has the most unbelievable weapons, too.
Just like now, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are always going to be compared throughout their career.
But Herbert's been in the league, 4 years? And if Staley gets fired and he gets a new coach, it will be his third coach in 5 years.
No, it's a shame for him. He's a really great quarterback, but I guess it's the way that we're constantly doing these comparisons between the two of them when one of them is not only winning, but breaking all of these records statistically and having a spectacular season. Obviously, like, the system has something to do with that. It would be crazy to say that it's not Mike McDaniel in some capacity. But also, different quarterbacks fit in different systems, different ways, and Justin Herbert has his flaws that maybe wouldn't work if he was just in the system. I think there's so many people saying, oh, well, if Herbert was in Tua's spot, it would be even better. I have no reason to believe that's the case.
I have something that's probably not popular, especially down here in Miami.
Oh, boy.
Dolphins offenses have ruined football for me. Like, I can't watch a football game that's not the Dolphins.
It's done
now.
the exact opposite for me.
I just
it's
can't.
Made football amazing.
Like, I'm watching. No, it's great, but I'm saying it's ruined the rest of football for me. Like, I can't watch just a single game that's not the Dolphins. Like, if I tune in, it's the third quarter, it's like, I don't know, 14-9 or something. I can't watch it. I'm
the
like,
Patriots
this is boring.
option doesn't do it.
Well,
for
I'm
you?
like, why can't you guys just score? I don't understand. Like, why does it take you so long to score? Why can't you just score in 3 plays in 45 seconds? Like, what's going on
They
here?
spoiled you.
This doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Is that what Iowa's like? I can't imagine watching Iowa football.
No, we don't score that much.
That's crazy. Why
Billy,
not?
they won a game 15-6 over the weekend.
But why don't you just try having everyone go in motion
You
and
guys should
throwing
score
the
more.
ball? Yeah, why don't you just score more? Just get all the fast players in
Get
the
those
country.
tight ends running early.
Yeah, why can't you just do that? I don't get it.
There have
Me
been
neither.
so many seasons in the past, so many Dolphin seasons in the past, where if they're behind 14-0 in the first quarter,
right,
the crowd is leaving. Everybody's giving up.
The game is over.
The game is over.
Tua was
Correct.
laughing on the
Yes.
sideline after they scored the second touchdown, and I'm like, whoa.
Right.
Because I thought they were going to come back, but I'm like, I don't know.
That's supreme confidence.
He
You
was
know what?
smiling after the second touchdown on the sideline.
When they were behind 14-0, they were still, you know how the odds update now? Christopher pointed this out to me. I didn't know it. When they're down 14-0, they're still a minus 200 favorite to win the game. There was no doubt. And it wasn't just because Carolina sucks, which it does.
Right.
It's because the Dolphins' offense is, until somebody proves otherwise, almost unstoppable.
And like 5 years ago, we were watching Jay Cutler throw passes to Devontae Parker.
Right.
Like that was supposed to be the height of excitement of
Yes.
the Dolphins offense since Dan Marino.
Yeah, amazing.
And now it's this.
So this is the best offense. That's saying a lot considering Marino, Clayton, Duper, and that offense.
I feel Amin's enthusiasm sort of rooting for the NBA, rooting for the enthusiasms of what was a cup that a lot of people who aren't watching are making fun of. But if you are watching and you're like, oh, Dwayne Wade and Stan are great, framing all of what that was. And yeah, it probably would have been different if Wembanyama played. He doesn't look like the minutes restriction combined with how he looked in that first quarter. He doesn't quite look like what he's looked like before.
So Saturday's game, it was the first time in 3 years I said, oh shit, he could be the best player who's ever played. Because it was so undeniable when he stepped on the court. The impact was immediate. Last night, not as much, but he still had a decent game. It was the end. He didn't have a good ending to the game, and I think that's part of his growth, learning how to find his spots, especially when things are slipping away the way that they were. But then when you talk about the enthusiasm about the NBA Cup, it's one of those things. I've made this analogy the other day. So Defensive Player of the Year, we would consider that to be an important, prestigious award, yes?
Yeah.
Every player, or most players, are like, they won Depoy, that'd be a big deal for them, right? Depoy's like 42 years old. right? Like, it's not something that's existed since Bill Russell. It happened in the 80s. And so I tell people, imagine if Depoy was an award we created now. What would we say? Oh, that's just the shit they give to the guys who got no bag. That's what they would say. It would be such a dismissal. That's dumb. Oh, because guys can't score, now we have to make them feel good. We would have all of these ridiculous counter arguments. But the reality is, if you institute something and just have some amount of consistency, well, this is something we do every year and we care about it, people will eventually care. When Juju said 20 years from now there's going to be a kid, man, I think it's 10 years. It's a 10-year-old now who's watching and saw the Knicks celebrate and Karl Anthony Towns go crazy and Jalen Brunson win MVP. It's like, I want to do that when I get to the league.
They're going to have to sort out, though, all of the condensed scheduling in the beginning of the season. You've got John Hollinger getting called out individually by the NBA because he's saying, there's a lot of injuries happening, and I think it has to do with the Cup. So that's something that I think a lot of Big J journalists are feeling is a threat to the Cup's longevity.
So the commissioner addressed this again last night, and it's one of those things. Actually, in the break, I was talking with
Did he
Jeremy.
say there's nothing he can do about it?
Jeremy and Zach.
It's out of my hands.
You guys were yelling at each other. Jeremy was off today, and I saw him pop up out of nowhere. I don't even know where he was.
He came
and
in.
You, Zaz, and Amin were yelling at each other for 5 minutes here before the bomb came in here.
So, at the risk of really ruining the flow of the show to something I know is catnip for Dan, this is a great journalism conversation about press conference, logistics, and politics and whatsoever, right?
Go on.
So, Trista, to your question, the problem with that is they like to seize on the thing that they can attack and not necessarily the overall point. Overall point, John Hodges is saying is like, hey, injuries are up. Soft tissue injuries are up. But the problem is he opens the door by saying this condensed schedule. The league is like, we got it. Here's 10 years of data that shows that our schedule is not more condensed than it has been over the last 10 years. It's basically within the same range, which I believe is accurate. The games aren't more condensed.
Except for they're more impactful because players are trying
harder, et cetera. But, again, that's when you use the terminology condensed, it means too many within a small amount of time, and they're like, we have a counter for that. It avoids the soft tissue injury conversation. It avoids maybe the games are more impactful, more meaningful. The thing we were talking about with Zaz and Jeremy was the Tim Reynolds question to the commissioner about this Miami Heat thing. And I said the problem is, what the question should have been is, why can't they trade Terry Rozier's contract?
That was my problem. I didn't care about the draft pick. I understand not establishing that precedent.
I don't.
Some dude tears his ACL. You'd be like, we want the pick back. It's the same thing. It's
not the same thing.
I didn't even think about the pick. The pick is stupid. Whatever. To me, it's moving the contract. Being able to trade the contract because that has value. I'd argue it has more value than the first-round pick because it's an expiring deal and you need contracts to match up. That's the big one.
But Adam Silver's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
That's a spot-on impression of Adam Silver. I feel like he's right here with us. But to the point that Mike is making, if Tim Reynolds makes his question about that, now we've boxed the commissioner in. But he gives the commissioner an out because Adam Silver's really smart. He's
How
really
should
good.
it have been framed?
Don't talk about the pick. Talk about their
Can they move
ability
the
to move the contract. Because the moment he starts saying, pick, maybe it's 27, maybe it's 28, what kind of relief can you offer the Heat? Adam Silver's like, boom, he asked me the thing that's, this one's easy. So I'm going to focus my answer around the pick rather than around the part that really has some wiggle room to it.
I understand why it is that you guys would get caught up in gambling investigation, draft pick, transaction, commissioner handling it wrong. But there was basketball last night, and around that enthusiasm of the basketball, I really do believe Knicks fans, given what they've made of that tournament, will remember the OG Anunoby game. They're going to remember that even though Wembanyama didn't play, Anunoby went for 20 in the first half and was somebody who helped them win that game. I'm not joking when I say that's something. Knicks fans don't have a lot of moments like that. A whole generation of Knicks fans don't have a lot like that.
Dan, you're saying the OG Anunoby game. I'm telling you, these are the people whose praises were being sung after the game. Number one, Tyler Kolek. That guy became someone now in New York. When he goes back, he's not paying for drinks anymore. He's Tyler Kolek, right? Number 2, Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson was really big coming off the bench. Offensive spark. He had some big threes. He flexed. He roared. All those things. Number 3, Ariel Hakporti. He only played like a couple of minutes or whatever, but Mike Brown shouted him out on the press conference.
Do you guys not think it's weird, though? Honestly, do you not think it's weird that someone like Greg Cody, who says, stop talking to me about this made-up cup, how it is that with very little information and not feeling the enthusiasm around it, he would say, really, I have to pay him $500,000 to care? To create the enthusiasm around a game, I've got to incentivize in the middle of the season. I'm going to give each player $500,000 and watch how he cares if he wins this game.
Isn't that also because they're playing an 83rd game? Like, the players do need to be paid for an 83rd game, right?
Yeah, I mean, so last night's game does not count towards statistics or records or anything like that. It was just a championship. So, yeah, there is a compensation element. But, again, no one's lying about themselves. Like, it's because we make them play more. It's like, no, this was an incentive to make them treat this as something special and different from a regular season game.
It does feel in year 3, it's finding its footing a little bit more. Players are grasping the concept and trying more. Amin's point was interesting in that anytime you trot out something new, cynicism and social media just makes everything so lame at the start. I really can't remember so many things. I think the Four Nations was refreshing in that it was like they just invented this thing. The players were bought in, and the viewers and media alike were like, this thing is awesome. Buy-in is hugely important.
I also don't want to move too far away from Dwayne Wade and Stan. Were great together.
Are we being
last
homers
night.
there?
No.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm not a huge fan of Dwayne's broadcasting. I like him, but I don't think he's a great broadcaster. Just he's learning, and I don't mean this as any kind of insult. But with Stan, I saw more of him.
Bam. So exactly, I should say Bam because that means something different around here. So when I saw Dwayne doing the Olympics with Noah Eagle, I thought he was awful because everything just became a story about him, and instead of like talking about the action. But with all of these guys, and I know this because I've been in this position in the studio show, with all of these guys, if you have the right facilitator, someone who knows how to bring that stuff out, then they turn into a different person. And I'm like you, Dan. I went back and I watched some stuff, and I'm like, whoa, hold on. He's really good when he's got someone to kind of be a little bit more of a governor as opposed to kind of just letting him, hey, it's Dwayne Wade, he's one of the greatest players, let him say whatever he wants.
It's always interesting to me, right? Because so many of these guys have gone from championships to trying to develop a second career where they were as competitive as they were at the first. I imagine Dwayne has been very frustrated by not being able to find the right partner without even understanding that he needs one. How would you explain the content game in a way that fast forwards Dwayne? It's got to be someone you like and respect, someone who knows some of the structure, someone who will give you the room. You don't have to do it all yourself with producers who are afraid to tell you anything in the way of critique. When you actually want coaching and they don't understand that you want critique, they're afraid because you're Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, as a woman of faith, it jumped off to me on the screen last night. And that's what I feel like me and Trista have discovered over at the Alley-Oop. I thought I was awesome. I thought I could do anything. But you bring in Trista, someone who knows what she's talking about and has been doing this. Alley-Oop.
That's a good plug. Hakeem Jeffries next.